Chapter 490. Yu Clan Castle. A day had passed, but Yu Yang had yet to return. Everyone was extremely anxious, but no one could help at all. Ever since they came out of the Blood Lake torture chamber, Shuetan Lang, Yi Kong, Fatty Hai, and the others had tried to re-enter, but their attempts had failed. The Blood Lake torture chamber had already been completely sealed, and it was impossible to re-enter. What made them feel even more helpless was that when they left the ancient passage from the gods' ruins and teleported back to the Yu Clan Castle, even the teleportation point that the ancient passage originally recorded had disappeared. Even the old fox who was proficient in teleportation, or the heavenly imperial guardians of the Xia and Tian Luo Kingdom. However, they had no choice but to give up on the plan of returning to find support for Yu Yang. Jun Wu Yu, Elder Yu Hai, and the other seniors did not show it on the surface, but they were secretly anxious. Yu Yang's opponent was not an ordinary innate, but an ancient titan. Would it really be all right for him to fight against an innate elder-level ancient titan alone? It would be a lie to say that they were not worried. When Luo Hua City Mistress and the sickly beauty heard this news, they couldn't sit still. Only Yu Bing believed that her brother would definitely be able to defeat all the rancors and return safely. The little girl had an indescribable confidence in her brother. Fourth Mother was the same as Yu Bing. Fourth Mother comforted the worried Yu, sickly beauty, and city mistress Fallen Flowers with a gentle voice. She also comforted Anan, who had rushed back after hearing the news. What are ancient titans? Only the carefree little girl, Yu Shuang, thought that the ancient titans were the same as those peddlers selling sugar figurines on Shanglin Street. Go to sleep. Brother will be back soon. It's okay, you guys go rest. Fourth Mother was naturally worried about Yu Yang, but she knew that as the mother of the family, she couldn't let her children see her cowardice. Furthermore, she had to maintain confidence in her own son. In this world, anyone could choose not to support Yu Yang, but she, the Fourth Mother, couldn't. I can't sleep now. Let's wait for a while more. City Mistress Fallen Flowers was stronger. She could still force a smile and comfort Fourth Mother. Blood Lake Torture Chamber, 5th floor. The battle had long since erupted to its climax. In the great battle between Yu Yang and the ancient titan Wu Su, both sides tried their best to kill their opponent in the Blood Lake Torture Chamber and win the battle. If Yu Yang had used all of his methods to plot against Wu Su, the war between the humans and the titans would have already ended. Wu Su, who had lost his freedom and only had half of his body left, would not be able to fight against Yu Yang, who had the Nirvana Flame, world-exterminating wheel, devouring domain, innate chi, and many others. When the strip domain loses its effect, the god-binding chains will decide Wu Su's fate. However, Yu Yang wasn't in a hurry to kill an opponent who couldn't escape the Blood Lake torture chamber. He wanted to use Wu Su to practice his martial arts. Just like how he fought against Diablo in Diablo 2, he would slowly grind and kill the enemy while improving his own skills so that he could gain more benefits from this battle. If the Marquis of Zijin, who caused Yu Yang's life to be in danger for the first time, was Anariel, then Shun Tian would be Duriel. If the Ocean Emperor was Mephisto, then the current ancient titan would be Diablo, and the Black Hell King would be Ba-Er. As for the Scarlet Emperor at his peak, and the three great leaders of Heaven Realm Void, Jiu Shao and Ming Yu Guang, Yu Yang still couldn't give them a clear position. Those fellows weren't people that he could defeat now. Therefore, Yu Yang decided to use this opportunity to practice his martial arts to improve himself as much as possible. In any battle, there wouldn't be such an enemy. An enemy who was fixed on the stone wall and couldn't move was 100 times safer than the Scarlet Emperor who was struggling in the Ancient Seal. As long as he couldn't kill him in one hit, the final victory would forever belong to the free Yu Yang. Damned human, no matter what you do, it's impossible to kill me, Wu Su, because I'm an ancient titan. Ever since I was born, I bathed in the god's water. When I became an adult, I received the god's blood bestowed by the Titan King. I have an immortal body. Do you think you can kill me with a broken dagger? Damned human, what you're doing is meaningless. If you can help me burn off these damn god-binding chains, then I might consider sparing your life. Little Bean Sprout, we don't need to fight. Why don't we work together? As long as you give me freedom, then I can bestow you the Titan's blood, so that you can have an immortal body and the strength of a Titan. Most importantly, we, the ancient Titans, are the descendants of gods with endless life. Little boy who only has a few hundred years of life, do you want eternal life? Wusu's body was riddled with wounds, and he looked battered and exhausted. Now, he finally knew that it was impossible for him to kill that cunning human. His opponent's speed was too fast, and his intelligence was too high. No matter what method he used, it was impossible to kill him. On the contrary, the little boy who possessed Nirvana's flame and world-exterminating wheel could injure him severely. Wusu was already tired of this unwinnable battle. He made an unimaginable decision and decided to stop fighting, negotiating with the enemy, hoping that the other party would use Nirvana's flame to burn off the god-binding chains. Without freedom, it was impossible to use his full strength. Would Yu Yang accept a deceptive negotiation? Of course not. Hearing Wusu's exasperated words, Yu Yang smiled. For the first time, he summoned his grimoire. A golden light shone, and a protective shield rose. The unique world domain spread out like a halo and continuously absorbed energy from the deprivation domain. Barbarian Cow Shadow on Man, Bloody Queen Red, Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen Duo, Reaper Mantis, and even the Spirit of Earth Fire were all summoned. Only the hornless dragon Jiang Ying, who was still in a state of chaos, was left. On the other side, Little Winley turned into a rainbow and floated out. Under Wu Su's astonished gaze, she started to summon her grimoire. Stone Element Medusa, Storm Mermaid, Thunder Naga, and Ice Serpent Demon appeared one after another. How can you have two divine beasts? Ah, no, this is a diamond grimoire. She is not. What is going on? Wusu was about to go crazy. His enemies weren't getting fewer and weaker as they fought, but more and stronger as they fought. I know that there's God's blood in your heart, and I like it very much. So, I have decided to take it. Yu Yang raised his hand, and all the beasts formed a semicircle around him, ready to attack. Yu Yang had never thought of negotiating with Wusu, nor did he want to be friendly with him. He did not care about the sinful past of this ancient Titan, nor did he care about his future judgment. He only cared about the present. He wanted to kill this giant, obtain the god's blood in his body, improve himself, then kill the Black Hell King, kill the Scarlet Emperor, kill the Heaven Realm's three great leaders, Void and Jiu Shao. Wishful thinking, no matter how many beasts you have, it is useless against me. Although Wu Su said this, his heart was actually trembling. All the signs showed that this brat was nurturing his beasts. In other words, he was confident that he could kill him. What should he do? Wu Su decided to kill the weakest one, such as the Reaper Mantis. Countless lightning flashed in his hands and condensed to form a huge silver thunderbolt. The thunderbolt struck towards the Reaper Mantis at lightning speed. What made Wu Su astonished was that the Reaper Mantis did not make any attempt to escape or evade the thunderbolt that was thrown with such great force. Could it be that it could not react in time? Yu Yang also did not make any movement and only watched quietly. The Thunder Naga flew up fearlessly. Looking at her, it did not look like she was blocking Wu Su's thunderbolt, but more like she was hugging. As for the Spirit of Earth Fire, her actions were even more exaggerated. Compared to the Thunder Naga's hug, her actions were directly devouring. While still in midair, the Spirit of Earth Fire wrapped the thunderbolt with her body and tried her best to digest it in one gulp. Of course, it was impossible. In the end, the thunderbolt pierced through her elemental body and struck down furiously. Facing it was the Thunder Naga. She raised both her hands and held onto the thunderbolt tightly. Then, she continuously absorbed the electricity from the thunderbolt and flew downwards with the help of the thunderbolt's aftershock. The Spirit of Earth Fire rushed up unwillingly and opened her mouth to fight for the electricity, just like a child fighting for candy. Wu Su was dumbfounded. These beasts could also devour the electricity from the thunderbolt shot by the Titan. I'll smash you all to death. In his anger, Wu Su bent down and waved his huge right hand, smashing the Spirit of Earth Fire and Thunder Naga on the ground. Roar! A thunderous roar exploded. Wusu felt that his left hand was pulled by a strong force. He missed his hand and smashed on the ground, leaving a deep palm print. The entire blood lake torture chamber shook from the impact. However, Wusu was stunned. It had been tens of thousands of years. Even before he was locked up, other than the ancient behemoth, which was also known for its strength, he had never been moved by the power of any foreign species. Even a giant dragon couldn't do it. Today, there was actually a creature that pulled his attacking left hand away. What kind of creature could do this? Wusu turned his head and stared at the ground. At a corner of the Blood Lake torture chamber, there was an extremely tiny girl with goat horns. She was dragging a huge god-binding chain and pulled his left hand away. It was her, the girl with goat horns, who pulled his left hand. Goat tribe girl. No, it's a barbarian bull tribe girl. What's going on? How can a brainless barbarian bull evolve into a holy beast? Moreover, how can it evolve into a human so perfectly? Even if it evolves, it's impossible for it to compete with me in strength. Wusu felt that the female barbarian bull was getting stronger and stronger. She could almost compete with him. He turned pale with fright. A man is so powerful. Do your best. Drag him down to the ground. Bloody Queen Red clapped her hands and praised. Dream on. Wusu was completely driven mad. A tiny female barbarian bull wanted to drag an ancient titan like him down to the ground. Although he had lost both of his legs, his arm strength alone was enough to flatten mountains. Barbarian bull shadow, a man's strength, was extremely terrifying. She exerted strength in both her arms and dug her legs deeply into the hard rock surface. She was frantically wrestling with Wusu. Her strength was actually slightly weaker than Wusu, the ancient titan. However, with the heart of earth, she would never feel tired. Endless energy from the depths of the earth continuously replenished her strength. Although she couldn't drag Wusu down, she could hold on for a long time. At the very least, she could destroy Wusu's entire left arm. Under barbarian bull shadow, a man's full strength pull, if Wusu didn't want to fall to the ground and become the first ancient titan in history to be defeated by a little bean sprout, he had to divert his attention to defend against her strong pull. The storm mermaid blew the storm horn. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled in the entire Blood Lake torture chamber. Countless dark clouds pressed down. Rumble. The rainstorm poured down. The Reaper Mantis flew high in the sky and started to kill the remaining demonic beasts. Bloody Queen Red dived down and let out a shrill banshee scream. So noisy, Wusu painfully stretched out his right hand. He wanted to grab this Bloody Queen Red and squeeze her to death. Little Wen Li appeared in front of him in a flash. She glared at him with her beautiful big eyes and activated her binding inherent skill. The god's blood belongs to me from now on. Yu Yang took the opportunity to throw an item at Wusu. It was the Prison Emperor Divine Seal. Although this item didn't recognize Yu Yang as its master, it was definitely terrifying to use it to smash someone. The Scarlet Emperor had a taste of it before. Yu Yang held the god-killing dagger in his left hand and the innate invisible sword Qi in his right hand. With the power of the strongest sword, he ruthlessly struck Wusu's chest where his heart was beating. Chapter 491. 10 hours later. The ancient titan, who had completely lost its fighting strength and was on the verge of death, collapsed after Yu Yang's last attack. Its huge body smashed heavily into the water that had already been dyed the color of blood, stirring up tens of thousands of waves that splashed everywhere. In the sky, Yu Yang, who was already exhausted, also relaxed his mind and fell down uncontrollably. The storm mermaid rode on the waves, her beautiful fishtail swaying gently as she glided over quickly. She stretched out her slender hands to support Yu Yang, standing on the waves. In the sky, the Bloody Queen Red and the Reaper Mantis were also falling from exhaustion and could no longer fly. The Bloody Queen Red was still fine as she could land lightly on the back of the Golden Tiger Shark. As for the Reaper Mantis, it flapped its wings powerlessly and dived into the water, creating a wave. It was a mess. If the stone element Medusa had not pulled it out of the water in time, it would have become the first reaper mantis to drown in shallow water. Not only them, almost all the beasts that participated in the battle were exhausted. Only the barbarian cow shadow man, who would never get tired once she stepped on the ground, maintained her strength. Other than her, the spirit of earth fire, thunder naga, ice serpent demon, golden crown thorny flower queen duo, and even little Winley were all exhausted. Wusu had lost half of his body and was only left with the strength of a heaven-ranked level 1. He did not have a grimoire or any treasures. But as an ancient titan, he still had the strength to fight until now. It had to be said that the ancient titan was very powerful. If Wusu was free, or at his peak condition, if he had a summoning grimoire, or a guardian spirit beast, or even a supreme treasure, then the outcome of the battle could have been different. The reason why Yu Yang could defeat Wusu was not because he had many beasts, but because of the god-binding chains. It restricted Wusu's freedom of movement as a living target. The reason why Wusu was able to fight so tenaciously until now could be said to be entirely due to the unparalleled strength of the ancient titan's body. I will remember you. You are really strong. Yu Yang had fought so many big battles, but Wusu was the only one who did not use any underhanded tricks. He used his combat power and patience to grind down the big boss. His hand was currently holding a huge heart. The Titan's heart, which was bigger than a house, kept shrinking in the Nirvana's flame. After a long time, after the Nirvana flame had refined it for more than 10 minutes, it finally shrunk into a heart crystal the size of a cantaloupe. It was as hard as diamond and as clear as crystal. Inside, a drop of colorful and dazzling god blood slowly dripped out of it. When the divine blood dripped out, the surrounding space gave off an auspicious light. The golden light was dazzling, making it hard for people to look at the drop of blood that contained a huge amount of energy. There was an indescribable pressure and supreme will that almost controlled Yu Yang. However, Yu Yang seemed to have known about the pressure of the god blood. He kept injecting the innate chi that he had just recovered into the god blood. The Nirvana's flame formed a fire pillar and condensed into a ball. He wanted to challenge the god blood that could never change. He was prepared to use his innate chi and Nirvana's flame to purify it completely. He did not care about the divine consciousness in the god blood, as it could not be controlled. Therefore, Yu Yang only wanted the energy in the god blood. Was the god blood with divine consciousness stronger? Or was the Nirvana's flame, an innate chi, more superior? 20 minutes later, the divine consciousness in the god blood disappeared continuously. The drop of golden god blood became almost transparent, with a tinge of gold and a tinge of red. That was the sign of the Nirvana's flame, an innate chi completely dispersing the divine consciousness and being occupied by Yu Yang's will. The other beasts were not interested in the dispersing divine consciousness. Only the spirit of earth fire kept trying to absorb it. Yu Yang did not stop her. On the contrary, he felt that it might be a good thing. A drop of God's blood has such power. Yu Yang was now concentrating on the purified drop of God's blood in his palm. Just this drop of God's blood contained the power of a level 10 innate. Ha! Little Wenli smiled sweetly at Yu Yang. She was exhausted to let Yu Yang obtain this drop of God's blood. Good baby, I'll give it to you. Yu Yang passed a drop of God's blood to Little Wenli. Little Wenli smiled and waved her hand, then shook her head continuously. You don't like it? Yu Yang was stunned. Little Wenli suddenly opened her 6 snow lotus-like arms and hugged Yu Yang's thighs tightly, indicating that she already had the best thing in the world and did not need God's blood. Yu Yang was stunned at first, then he felt warmth in his heart. This little Lamia was like this. She was number 1 in killing monsters, but she never coveted any rewards. Even if it was God's blood that everyone in the world would go crazy for, she did not care about it all. Most of the ancient titan's body will be given to Duo. Most of the blood will be given to the little mantids and the medusas. The titan's heart will be given to Man. This drop of God's blood, since little Wenli doesn't want it, you can have it. Yu Yang felt that this drop of God's blood would be useful to any girl, but their bodies might not be able to take it. Impatience could, but she had already reached the elder innate realm. Leveling up could be delayed. It would be better to use God's blood to nurture her guardian beast first. Especially Bloody Queen Red, Man, and Duo. These three main battle powers, they were the most important. Thank you, Master, but Red doesn't want God's blood. Bloody Queen Red shook her head and waved her hands. Not only her, Barbarian Cow Shadow Man also waved her hands. Duo, what about you? Yang felt strange. Why didn't they want it? I don't want it either. Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen didn't take the god's blood from Yu Yang's hands. Instead, she smiled and stuck out her tongue, licking the wounds on Yu Yang's body. She looked like a greedy little cat. If it was any other time, Yu Yang would definitely be furious. He wasn't nurturing vampires. Could be that you guys like my blood more? Seeing this, Yu Yang seemed to have understood something. It's very sweet. Duo's body had already evolved into a heavenly beauty, the Flower Queen. However, her personality hadn't fully matured yet. She was still like a big lowly. In terms of evolving into a human, she was better than Red. In terms of intelligence, she was also not bad. However, in terms of human emotions, she was slightly inferior to Red. Actually, Red had only recently surpassed Duo. If Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen Duo didn't need to evolve countless times during her growth and hibernate too much, if Bloody Queen Red didn't receive inspiration from Yu Yang, Sickly Beauty, City Mistress Fallen Flowers, and the Impatience, she wouldn't be able to compare to this plant-type queen. Although Duo and Red didn't directly answer, Yu Yang had already gotten his answer. Maybe their reaction was just an instinctive action that couldn't be explained by their consciousness. However, Yu Yang had experienced Queen Vivian Li's blood contract, Little One Li's transformation from his own blood, the Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen's blood-licking action, and the Reaper Mantis and the Spirit of Earthfire's miracles. If Yu Yang didn't doubt himself now, he would be a big idiot. All this while, Yu Yang thought that it was the innate chi in his blood that had a special effect. Now, it seemed that it wasn't the whole story. The innate chi was definitely beneficial, but the real deciding factor should be his blood, the guy from another world. Did the old Taoist priest's flying kick contain immortal energy or something? Did it change his physique? Or did the heavenly sword goddess give him the immortal pill in her Chinkoan pouch to save his life when he was injured during his transmigration? Yu Yang couldn't figure it out. However, since Red and Duo would rather have his blood than the god's blood, it proved that even if his blood wasn't the god's blood, it was probably something good. Maybe it was like Tang Sing's meat, immortality after eating it. Yu Yang's imagination ran wild, but he couldn't explain it. He could only put this mystery aside and slowly research it in the future. He first kept the god's blood, then used the Nirvana's flame blade to slowly cut open the ancient Titan's corpse. Other than his right arm, he gave the rest to the Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen so that she could continue to improve. Originally, after eating so many innates and hybrid fishmen, the Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen could at least level up to a divine beast. Now, with the addition of the ancient Titan, Yu Yang estimated that her future would be limitless. Of course, the Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen's grooming value was extremely high. Yu Yang had always prioritized grooming her, so he naturally wouldn't be stingy with the ancient Titan's corpse. When I wake up from my hibernation, I will definitely do my best to repay you, Master. The Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen hugged Yu Yang and kissed him fiercely before reluctantly returning to hibernation. All the blood has been collected. The Storm Mermaid gathered all the blood that had dripped into the pond and formed an incomparably huge blood ball. She held in the sky and slowly brought it in front of Yu Yang. Among the stone element Medusa, Thunder Naga, and Ice Serpent Demon, she had the fastest mental evolution. When the Storm Mermaid could open her mouth and speak clearly, the stone element Medusa and the others were still struggling to learn the human language. Even their master, Little One Li, couldn't open her mouth to speak. However, Yu Yang suspected that his little darling had already learned how to speak. It was just that her voice was still very tender, so she wasn't willing to open her mouth to speak. This could also be due to her personality. The Titan's blood was also a good thing. Yu Yang felt that if he could refine it, it would be the best item to groom beasts. He couldn't waste it. The problem was that he didn't have the time and energy to refine it. Yu Yang could only keep the Titan's blood. He kept it into the platinum ring and slowly dealt with it. After another hour, Yu Yang used Nirvana Flame to burn a god-binding chain. Suddenly, countless lights appeared on Yu Yang. Little One Li, Bloody Queen Red, Barbarian Cow Shadow on Man, Reaper Mantis, Spirit of Earth Fire, and Stone Element Medusa. The reason was that the battle had only ended now. The summoning grimoire was still there. It automatically flew to Yu Yang's side. The Guardian Beast World, which was a domain-type light ring, shot out a blazing light that was as bright as the sun. The light ring that was originally 80 meters in diameter suddenly expanded to 100 meters. All the beasts leveled up together. Even Little One Li, who was the hardest to leveled up continuously after the Scarlet Emperor's attack, the Ocean Emperor's interception, and Wusu's encirclement. Most importantly, she had absorbed the energy of the Mother Earth potion. In an instant, her energy skyrocketed. After the tempering and fusion of this battle, how could it not advance? The current Little One Li had officially leveled up from level 5 diamond ranked to level 6 diamond ranked. Yu Yang's original intention of killing Wusu, the ancient titan, was to nurture this little Lamia lowly. Seeing that she had finally broken through level 5 and leveled up to level 6 diamond ranked, Yu Yang was elated. The multicolored light was like a rainbow, filling the entire room with light and a rich fragrance that refreshed the mind. Little One Li slowly floated in the bright light. Her entire body was as clear as white jade. She grew a little bit at a speed that could be seen by the naked eye. Although she was still a little lowly, Yu Yang was delighted to find that Little One Li had grown up again. The plan to nurture her had to continue, but it seemed that the results were obvious. For a moment, Yu Yang felt a sense of accomplishment and was especially gratified. Chapter 492. Yu Yang felt as if a mysterious energy exploded in his mind, as if he was enlightened. His understanding of the pitiful guy's mother's knowledge had improved greatly. Little One Li turned into a stream of light and entered Yu Yang's body. Instantly, this state of enlightenment became clearer. Yu Yang felt that not only the pitiful guy's mother's knowledge, but also Little One Li's previous life's knowledge, memory fragments, and Queen Vivian Li's bloodline inheritance. At the same time, he quietly woke up from this state of enlightenment. While he was still immersed in this state of enlightenment, the entire blood lake torture chamber shook. The ground rumbled and collapsed. The originally indestructible giant walls also started to crack. Blood lake torture chamber. It could collapse at any time. Even the entire space might collapse. Barbarian Cow Shadow on Man was the first to exit from her enhanced state. She flew over and lifted Yu Yang up, running with all her might. Bloody Queen Red followed closely behind and flew into the sky to block the falling rocks for Yu Yang and Aman, so as not to affect her master who was still in a state of enlightenment. Reaper Mantis flapped its wings and wanted to fly away. Looking at the ground, it saw that there was still a god-binding chain that its master had not kept in time. As if thinking, Reaper Mantis circled in the sky. Even if the entire Blood Lake torture chamber was about to collapse, it still dived down, not forgetting to bring along the treasure its master had painstakingly obtained. On the contrary, the spirit of Earth Fire who had absorbed a portion of the divine sense did not have such awareness. After absorbing the divine sense, the spirit of Earth Fire's form became bigger and closer to a human's. Most importantly, she was fusing with the divine sense, using the energy of the divine sense to evolve, perfect herself, and break through. She excitedly flew around the Blood Lake torture chamber. Sometimes she would knock away the falling rocks, and sometimes she would use the small amount of divine sense she could control to gather the rocks around her before flying away. She was having a great time and had no sense of danger. To her, the collapse of the Blood Lake torture chamber was not dangerous at all. Of course, she did not know that her master was a human with flesh and blood. The stone element Medusa, the storm mermaid, The Thunder Naga and the Ice Serpent Demon followed closely, protecting him from all sides. The stone element Medusa, who was at the front of the team, stopped moving because of sound. It was a gold-ranked level 8 Blood Python King. For some unknown reason, the Blood Python King was surprisingly tenacious and had not died yet. It hissed in pain and wailed at Yu Yang and the others. At first, the stone element Medusa thought that it was going to attack, so she drew her bow and prepared to kill it. Seeing that it was about to die, the Blood Python King actually shed tears. Seeing that it was crying, the stone element Medusa slowly put down the bow in her hand. The ice serpent monster, who was dressed as a female general, let out a shout of dissatisfaction. As the most powerful person in the team, she would never allow her sisters to be distracted while protecting their master, let alone staying in this space that could collapse at any time for an insignificant Blood Python King. Hiss hiss. The Blood Python King seemed to want to ask stone element Medusa for help. It was too injured to escape from the Blood Lake torture chamber. Moreover, the Blood Lake torture chamber had a restriction on it, so it was impossible for it to really leave. It saw that the stone element Medusa had abandoned it, looked up at the sky, and hissed in pain. Her voice was extremely sad. The stone element Medusa paused and looked back. The Blood Python King hurriedly struggled to move towards her, but before it could follow, the ice serpent monster let out an even harsher shout from afar. After hearing that, the stone element Medusa immediately raised her bow and arrow at the Blood Python King. Since it could not keep up, then it was time to end its life. Before the stone element Medusa could shoot the golden arrow, she suddenly saw the Blood Python King rolling in pain. A large amount of blood seeped out of its tail, and a small head slid out of its dilated reproductive hole. The small life was constantly struggling in the almost transparent egg membrane, as if it wanted to drill out and see the outside world. It was the birth of this premature baby that made the stone element Medusa give up on shooting the Blood Python King. She took out a green crystal and pointed it at the Blood Python King. Before she started chanting the contract incantation, the Blood Python King impatiently turned into a golden light and flew towards the green crystal along with the few small lives that were continuously being born. Yu Yang, who was still immersed in the state of enlightenment, did not know any of this. Of course, even if he saw it, he would not stop it. He would even be happy because the stone element Medusa was no longer a killing beast. She had started to have the intelligence and emotions of a human. This was a huge improvement. Yu Yang was only awakened by the violent tremors when he reached the ancient obelisk at the entrance of the Blood Lake torture chamber. Seeing that the entire Blood Lake torture chamber had almost turned into ruins and the entire space was distorted, he quickly took out the best teleportation crystal. Bloody Queen Red, Barbarian Cow Shadow, Reaper Mantis, Stone Element Medusa, Storm Mermaid, Thunder Naga, and Ice Serpent Demon had all returned to the Grimoire world. Only the spirit of Earth Fire came late, which made Yu Yang furious and scolded her. The spirit of Earth Fire was scared to death, but she still did not understand why. She only vaguely remembered that she would be scolded every time she played for too long. She finally remembered it when Yu Yang kept the spirit of Earth Fire and the God-binding chains and crushed the teleportation crystal. The entire Blood Lake torture chamber collapsed completely. The earth trembled, the sky fell, and the earth cracked. The entire space started to distort. The moment Yu Yang teleported away, the entire Blood Lake torture chamber exploded with an earth-shattering explosion. Rumble. Although the teleportation was successful, the shockwave from the explosion still sent Yu Yang flying. When he appeared in the martial arts training plaza, he landed at the wrong place. The huge spatial distortion directly sent Yu Yang flying, smashing into the flag tower at the side of the Yu Clan Castle's martial arts training plaza. More than half of the tower was destroyed. Fortunately, the Yu Clan's flag and Xia's flag were not broken. Otherwise, it would be seen as a bad omen before the war, and everyone's morale would drop. Hui Tai Lang was the fastest. Before anyone could react, he had already rushed to Yu Yang's side. He wagged his tail with all his might. He was extremely happy. Brat, your return is too exaggerated, isn't it? Jun Wuyu heard the commotion and came out to take a look. When he saw the ashen-faced Yu Yang standing up from the pile of rubble, he was overjoyed. Not only did he not blame him for smashing the flag tower, he even joked with him in a good mood. Young people should be more mature. How can you be so reckless? Elder Yu Hai criticized him on the surface, but in his heart, he was extremely grateful to his ancestors. If something were to happen to this genius grandson of his, he would definitely not be able to live anymore. The whole Yu clan's only hope rested on this brat. If he did not return, the Yu clan would definitely collapse. Fortunately, this brat who made people worry about him had returned. Moreover, he seemed to be in good condition and was not heavily injured like what they had imagined. The old cunning fox hurriedly tried to smooth things over. He flew over and pulled the slightly dizzy Yu Yang out and brushed away the rubble on his body. It's good that you're back. It's good that you're back. Don't say anything. We all understand. Fatty Hai, what kind of boss are you? Hurry up and get some water for third young master to wash his face. Your little brother has become like this. What kind of face do you have as a boss? Fatty Hai's face was full of tears just now. But now he wiped his face and became proud. Don't worry. I don't need to do this. There will be others who will rush to do it. Lu Yi, although I'm good at fetching water, as your boss, I've decided to give you a chance to perform. Before he could finish his sentence, he had already been sent flying by Yi Kong's kick. Compared to Bao Er, who hugged Yu Yang and cried, Lu Yi was much more reserved, but her face was also like a pear blossom in tears. Not to mention her, even Shui Tanlang, who was like a block of ice, also turned his head away, holding back the tears in his eyes. Yi Kong, the Li clan brothers, and everyone else crowded around him in high spirits, completely releasing the anxiety and pain that they had accumulated from waiting for a day and a night. Girls could cry out loud, but they were men. They were embarrassed, so they could only cheer and excitedly throw Yu Yang into the air. Go, 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 you guys go to the side. We, master and disciple, haven't seen each other for a long time. Let's have a chat. The old cunning fox waited for them to have enough fun and impatiently hugged Yu Yang's shoulders and asked, Brat, what kind of treasures did you get? Quickly take them out and let me broaden my horizons. Nothing much. They're all broken. This time, I only got a holy ranked god binding chain, and it's even broken. Yu Yang deliberately said modestly. Pooh, Piu, Jun Wuyu, Elder Yu Hai, and the other old fellows realized that when Yu Yang was around, they couldn't drink water. Otherwise, they would definitely choke to death. Originally, everyone was acting like a senior, thinking that no matter what, they shouldn't embarrass themselves again. They had to act like a senior who wouldn't flinch even if a mountain collapsed. They didn't expect that in the end, they still couldn't hold it in. Who had a holy rank treasure? Not to mention normal warriors. Even innate rankers and heavenly imperial guardians didn't have one. Being able to have a platinum rank treasure was already something to be proud of. Now that they had casually walked into the god's ruins and brought back a holy ranked god binding chain, how could they live? However, when everyone thought about it, Yu Yang already had a divine equipment. His self-made Huiji magic blade was already close to holy ranked. The whole god-binding chain was really nothing. The old cunning fox knew that he didn't have a share of the god-binding chain, so he didn't ask anymore. Asking was a waste of effort anyway. This was used to bind the ancient titans. He couldn't use it even if he gave it to him. He continued to hold onto Yu Yang's shoulders, beaming with joy as he congratulated him. Is there anything that we can use? You can keep the god-binding chain to deal with the Black Hell King. Give us some platinum-ranked or gold-ranked treasures. I can easily get rid of them. I'll be satisfied with just one or two. Feng Xiaoyun, Shui Wendao, and Yin Xianzhong almost fell to the ground when they heard this. Could it be that the Yu clan's third young master's shamelessness was learned from this old fellow? At this moment, Elder Yu Hai had the urge to beat the old cunning fox up. Shui Donglu. It wasn't easy for the Yu clan to have a genius descendant. We had spent so much effort to send our grandson to learn from you, but you actually taught a young man who was supposed to be a great hero to become a shameless pervert. Although it wasn't easy to be at a disadvantage when one was shameless, his image was too bad. He couldn't find an excuse to praise his grandson, even if he wanted to. I don't have any treasures. Yu Yang rejected flatly. As a treasure collector, why would he give his treasures away? Then is the ancient titan dead? It's good to get some meat. I just contracted a young dragon. If it could eat some of the ancient titan's meat. You really have it? Oh my God, I'm gonna faint. The old cunning fox looked up and saw a giant shadow in the sky. A giant arm that was more than 100 meters long smashed onto the ground, causing the entire Yu clan castle to tremble slightly. The entire martial arts training plaza was completely destroyed. Not to mention the old cunning fox. Even Jun Wu Yu, Elder Yu Hai, Eastern Sky King, and Feng Kuang, who were watching from afar, trembled in fear. The teacups in their hands fell to the ground. Everyone present, no matter who it was, felt dizzy. They couldn't recover from the shock, even after a long time. An ancient titan's finger was almost 20 meters long. Its entire arm was more than 150 meters long. The reason why Yu Yang left one arm was to motivate everyone. Firstly, it was to motivate everyone. Secondly, it was to increase everyone's beast strength. With the ancient titan's meat, the old cunning fox and the others' beasts would definitely level up. The god-killing dagger shot out a long sword light. Yu Yang cut off pieces of meat from the arm and gave them to the old cunning fox and the others as gifts. As for Yi Kong and Fatty Hai, they naturally wouldn't miss out. Hui Tai Lang, it had already started to chew on the arm, not holding back at all. It knew that most of the arm was prepared for it by its master, so it could eat as much as it wanted. All right, there's no need to eat so much. You should keep this precious arm. These fellows are already old. It would be a waste to use it. Just give them something. The old cunning fox quickly stopped Yu Yang from cutting off more meat. It was useless for everyone's beasts to level up. It was better to level up Yu Yang's beasts. That's right. The ascetic practice, Saint agreed. My good son-in-law, you killed the ancient titan alone? Ha, awesome. It really makes my heart happy. The Eastern Sky King was very pleased. What's the use of having a son? I can't have a son, but I'm still awesome. Look, it's good to have a daughter. Look at how awesome my son-in-law is. Feng Xiaoyun, Yin Qianzhong, you fellows who gave birth to sons, go and cry in a corner. He didn't say it out loud, but his complacency made Yin Qianzhong and the others so mad that they wanted to commit suicide. Don't show off in front of me, who doesn't have a daughter. The one who could look down on the Eastern Sky King was obviously Jun Wu Yu, who gave birth to Tigress. Chioa, Saner is so capable. You can rest in peace. Elder Yu Hai secretly turned his head away. His face was filled with tears. Chapter 493. After the battle at the Blood Lake torture chamber, Yi Kong, Fatty Hai, Shuetan Lang, Prince of Tianluo, and the others all had different degrees of improvement. Among them, Shuetan Lang, Yi Kong, and Fatty Hai had improved the most. After Yu Yang's guidance and his own hard training, in addition to the resources of the two kingdoms, Shuetan Lang could become the second 20-year-old innate after Yu Yang. He was now a lesser innate and was very close to the innate realm. As long as he took the martial arts pill, he would definitely be able to break through the innate realm and become a true ranker. Of course, this lesser innate ranker wasn't like Yu Yang, who had trained by himself. If he didn't have Yu Yang's guidance, he reckoned that he would need at least 50 years of training, or even longer, to reach his current realm. Because of this, Shuetan Lang was not willing to break Yu Yang's previous record and did not take the martial arts pill immediately. He was prepared to break through to the innate realm in a month. That way, he would be ranked behind Yu Yang's record. What I want to do is to continuously chase after others, not to deceive myself and surpass others. Shuetan Lang felt that if he broke Yu Yang's record, it would be disrespectful to his brother-in-law. He knew that without his brother-in-law's guidance, he would not have been able to train so easily. Brother-in-law had cleansed his marrow and tendons, allowing him to be reborn. He had also imparted his insights to Shuetan Lang, giving him many pointers, saving him 50 or even 100 years of training time. If he used this opportunity to break brother-in-law's record of becoming the first innate ranker in history, to Shuetan Lang, It would be the greatest disrespect and also an unbearable humiliation. Why are you so stubborn? Everyone knows that your brother-in-law is the strongest. Moreover, even if you don't break this record, Yu Bing and Yu Shuang will definitely break it in the future. Shui Tianlang rejected the old fox's persuasion. In the soaring dragon continent, the main idea is that men are the most glorious. Even if Yu Bing and Yu Shuang became innates before the age of 20, everyone would know who the reason was, so they wouldn't take it to heart. But I, as a man, can't do this. In the history of the soaring dragon continent, brother-in-law will always be our number one. No one can surpass him. I definitely won't destroy his glory just to reach innate 1 month earlier. Shui Tianlang's attitude was very firm. This was probably the longest sentence he had ever said in his adult life. The old fellows of the scene were very touched when they heard this. How could they not know of Yu Yang's contributions? They were just anxious to groom more young innates. Shui Tianlang had reached the lesser innate realm, while Yi Kong and Fatty Hai followed closely behind. Now, they were already level 8 intermediate emperors. They were still a distance away from becoming a lesser innate, but with their current rate of improvement, breaking through to the innate realm was only a matter of time. One must know that Yi Kong and Fatty Hai had trained at a lower level, so it was even more difficult for them. When Fatty Hai first met Yi Yang, he was only a level 3 beginner hero. His strongest beast was a bronze-ranked level 2 iron rhinoceros. Now, Fatty Hai's not-so-smart wind-breath seabird already had 3 great beasts. Among them, the platinum-ranked level 3 iron rhinoceros was the most promising, followed by the gold-ranked level 5 hippopotamus. As for the gold-ranked level 8 thunder mammoth, although it was the strongest at the moment, its potential was almost depleted. It could only be used as a beast now, and would definitely be weaker in the future, unlike the hippopotamus and iron rhinoceros. It was the same for Yi Kong. Before he met Yi Yang, he had almost starved to death. He was extremely dispirited. Today, although he did not have a grimoire, with Yu Yang's guidance, he had risen again. With the help of the King Kong demon ape and the Herculean rhinoceros beetle, his battle power was even higher than Fatty Hai's. He was fully deserving of being the number 2 in the team. When Yi Yang was not around, Yi Kong was the backbone of the team. He led the whole team and had great leadership skills. Even the Ice Cube guy, Shui Tianlang, listened to him. Other than the 3 of them, the Prince of Tianluo, who was also an intermediate emperor, was also the most likely to become an innate. His starting point was very high, and he met Yi Yang later, so his improvement was not as exaggerated as Yi Kong and Fatty Hai's. However, the Prince of Tianluo, who was as talented as Shui Tianlang, definitely had a bright future. As for the Li brothers, Lin In, Anna, Bao Er, Lu Yi, Li Ao, Fan Luantai, and the others, they could forget about becoming an innate in the short term. They were still far from it, and had to continue to train hard. Continue to work hard. Don't let Hui Tai Lang lose to you. Yu Yang's words made Hui Tai Lang happily wag his tail. Of course, Yu Yang's words were not exaggerated. With Yi Kong and Fatty Hai's current level, they really could not be compared to Hui Tai Lang. Hui Tai Lang, who had leveled up to become a divine beast, had become much stronger. If Yi Kong and Fatty Hai could not catch up, the gap between them would only get bigger and bigger. Not to mention catching up to Yu Yang, even catching up to Hui Tai Lang would be difficult. It was because of this pressure that Shui Tianlang, Yi Kong, and Fatty Hai trained crazily. They really did not want to lose to Hui Tai Lang. Losing to Yu Yang was fine. After all, Yu Yang was an abnormal genius that could not be found in 10,000 years. Losing to Hui Tai Lang, even the dignity of a human race would be lost. Yin Pejun and Feng Qisha's faces were filled with tears. Because they had just finished training and reached level 7, Overlord, they had become the weakest existences. Other than Lu Yi and Bao Er, they couldn't even compare to the 4 orc girls. They were actually geniuses, becoming level 7 Overlord at the age of 20. Looking at the history of the soaring dragon continent, they could probably squeeze into the top 100 of the genius youngsters ranking. The problem was under the leadership of the abnormal genius, Yu Yang, the soaring dragon continent had ushered in an explosive era of geniuses. Even Yi Kong, Li Xie, and Li Gu, who did not have a summoning grimoire, were already level 8 Emperor. The two of them who had just reached level 7 Overlord were already tragic. Let's all train together. Let bygones be bygones. Our future is not in the soaring dragon continent, but in the Tong Tian Tower or even the higher heaven realm. Yu Yang's words were more or less comforting. Actually, Yin Pejun and Feng Qishan knew that becoming an innate was already their limit. Heaven realm? Its sky only belonged to the soaring Yu Yang. It did not belong to them. This brat has become more sensible. I was worried about his stubborn temper previously. Jun Weiyu was the happiest to see this scene. If Yu Yang was willing to let Yin Pejun and Feng Qisha join the team, the four great clans would be truly united. They would be like a rope, and the four clans would be dependent on each other. They would not have to worry about internal strife anymore. No, he still looks like a child to me. Elder Yu Hai looked humble on the surface, but he was actually very proud of himself. He was originally a child. The old cunning fox laughed when he heard this. Leaving the Yu clan castle, Yu Yang returned to the Tian Luo Palace's mirage. Before going to see Fourth Mother, Yu Yang first gave the Tian Luo Emperor Hua Su Ri a bottle of refined Titan's blood. Firstly, it was to thank Hua Su Ri. It was all thanks to the Tian Luo Emperor's care that Fourth Mother could safely stay here. It would be a bit unreasonable if he did not show his gratitude for such a long time. Secondly, it was because Yu Yang was curious. He guessed that Hua Su Ri was actually a girl. Otherwise, when he fell into the mirage, he felt like a girl. Moreover, if he was a guy, Fourth Mother would not stay here for a long time. Why didn't Fourth Mother stay in the Xia Palace? Why was the Night Empress and the mysterious Tian Luo Emperor so close? There were many questions that Yu Yang wanted to know. That was why he specially went to see Hua Su Ri, in the name of giving him the Titan's blood. His Majesty asked me to pass on the message that Third Young Master has accepted the treasure and is very happy with it. However, because his body is not feeling well recently, His Majesty will not see Third Young Master. Also, His Majesty heard that Third Young Master is creating an ancient puppet, so he will give you a treasure to help you succeed. The Tian Luo Emperor Hua Su Ri's personal guard came over to reply Yu Yang. She smiled and bowed, tactfully rejecting his request to see Hua Su Ri. Then I wish His Majesty good health soon. Yu Yang was 70% sure that Hua Su Ri was a female. But what was the relationship between the Tian Luo Emperor and the Night Empress? Were they sisters or relatives? Friends? He could not guess at the moment. Yu Yang went to see Fourth Mother again. It was obvious that Fourth Mother had already received the news of Yu Yang's return. She looked calm on the surface, but she was actually very excited on the inside. On the other hand, Yu Bing was so happy that she jumped up when she saw her brother had returned. She rushed into her brother's embrace before Nan could. Nan rushed in front of Yu Yang. Her small face had a cute look of wanting to cry, but trying her best to hold back her tears. She bit her lips lightly, enduring the desire in her heart. She really wanted to hug her sweetheart that she had missed 1,000 times. But she did not have enough courage, and was unable to express it with her actions. Yu Yang stretched out his hand towards her and gently wiped away the tears that secretly rolled down her cheeks. "Don't worry. Didn't I return safely? I'm fine." Nan blushed and shyly blocked his big hand, as if she did not want everyone to see such an intimate action. She forced herself to say, "I didn't cry." Before she finished speaking, another teardrop flowed out of her eyes. Yu Shuang squeezed her little head and forced herself to squeeze out a space beside her sister. She looked up at her brother and asked, "I didn't cry either. I have always been very obedient. Even when Mummy spanked me, I didn't cry." And Nan was amused by her and quickly wiped away her tears. She pretended to rebuke, "It's all your fault." When Yu Yang reached out to hug her, and Nan saw that City Mistress Fallen Flowers, Sickly Beauty, and Yu were all smiling and looking at them. She was so shy that she dodged and conveniently lifted the little girl into his arms, avoiding his wolfish claws. The little girl did not stand on ceremony. She intimately hugged her brother and rewarded him with 2 Lolita kisses. When she saw a snow fruit in Yu Yang's hand, she immediately snatched it and sweetly said that her brother was the best. The sugar content of this brother is the best was so high that it entered one's heart. Yu Bing slapped the little girl's butt and scolded her. You only know how to eat. Come down quickly. Brother just came back. I'm exhausted. Yu Shuang was not afraid of anything except this strict sister. Since she got the snow fruit, she immediately jumped down from Yu Yang's arms and ran away. When she reached a safe place, she turned around and made a cute face at her sister. Brother is not tired. She turned around and complained to fourth mother. Mummy, sister hit me. My butt hurts. Fourth mother did not protect her. She raised her hand to show that she wanted to hit her too. Immediately, the little girl turned around and rushed into Yu Yu's arms to hide. She knew that second sister was the most gentle. She never hit anyone and even doted on her. When the little girl finished acting coquettishly, City Mistress Fallen Flowers rushed over and hugged Yu Yang's arm without hesitation. She asked anxiously, Quickly tell me about the ancient titan. Did you defeat the ancient titan? How did you defeat it? If I had known earlier, I would have gone too. It's a pity that I missed such a good opportunity. All right, what treasure did you get? No, you have to start from the beginning. I'm dying of anxiety. Quickly tell us. Sickly Beauty looked at him and laughed. Let him sit down and drink some water. If you want to ask, there's no need to hurry. City Mistress Fallen Flowers saw Yu coming over with a cup of water. She immediately snatched it and passed it to Yu Yang. She pretended to be an obedient maid. Young master, drink some tea. Everyone laughed at her. Chapter 494. The Alliance Army of Zijin Kingdom and Black Hell Army officially declared war against the armies of Xia and Tianluo. Of course, this was only a small-scale war. The 3,000 elites of the Black Hell Army conquered the 3 cities of Xia, Qianfeng, Hotu, and Zhongmu. Although Jun Wu Yu had repeatedly ordered the 3 city lords to retreat immediately and shrink the area of resistance according to the plan, so as to not make unnecessary sacrifices, the 3 city lords still refused Jun Wu Yu's imperial edict with the reason of defending the city with their lives, defending the country. Just like that, the 3 city masters who were not successfully bribed by Zijin Kingdom all died in battle. After the Alliance Army conquered the 3 cities, they did not massacre them. Instead, they treated the citizens well and won over their hearts. Even the corpses of the 3 city masters were sent to Shangjing for Jun Wu Yu to bury. When Yu Yang heard the news, he sent someone to ask if they should take revenge on the enemies. It's none of your business. How can there be no deaths in war? You don't have to worry about these things. Elder Yu Hai did not give Yu Yang any chance to intervene. The Black Hell King is yours. Leave the rest to us. We old bones can still be of some use now. The old cunning fox persuaded Yu Yang, but scolded Yi Kong, Fatty Hai, and Xue Tam Lang, who requested a fight. Soldiers against soldiers, generals against generals, kings against kings. How many soldiers can you kill? Kill 3,000, 30,000, or even 300,000. Is that useful? Do you know how many monsters there are in the Demon Abyss? Do you know how many mercenaries there are in Tong Tian Tower? This world will never lack soldiers. It will only lack generals and kings. Go and do what you need to do. Train and level up. The war has just started. It will not stop in a month. This war will last for years, or even decades. This is just a test, understand? The Black Hell King has just made his first move. What we need to do is to respond to it. If you can't even keep your cool, what is the point of playing chess? The only thing to move now is the chess pieces. Since the old fellows who were proficient in warfare were as calm as Mount Tai, Yu Yang did not ask about the war. Jun Wu Yu and Elder Yu Hai had already said that the war would be a situation where they would lose first before winning. The Xia and the Tianluo Alliance Army would make use of time and space to fight against the Black Hell Army and Zijin Kingdom. Moreover, Yu Yang reckoned that the Black Hell King was still hitting the Golden Barrier. Without any treasures to strengthen him, he wouldn't make a move immediately. After a day, Yu Yang finally knew the reason why the Black Hell King sent his troops to battle. Jin from the Warriors Guild in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower wrote a letter to Little Titan. In the letter, it said that the Sea Clan of the 8th and 9th floor of Tong Tian Tower, because the Ocean Emperor was killed by Shi and Little Titan, they were furious and decided to take revenge. The Ocean Emperor's Empress Jellyfish had sent out 100,000 Sea Clan elites, led by one of the 4 remaining kings, Shark King. In the next 3 months, 100,000 Sea Clan would pass through the ancient passage and enter the soaring dragon continent to find and kill the Little Titan who had murdered the Ocean Emperor and Sea Dragon Crown Prince. The Black Hell Army had probably formed an alliance with 100,000 Sea Clan, so they attacked in advance to seize the initiative. At this moment, the name Little Titan had shaken the entire Tong Tian Tower. It was fine if a newbie killed Tiger Nyen, Nightmare, and Demon Eye. After all, the 3 of them were below innate level 5, so they couldn't be considered as true innate rankers. However, the act of killing Sky Dragon shocked everyone who heard it. Sky Dragon was not a simple person. He had been famous for a long time. Fortunately, the demonic palace did not pursue Little Titan's crimes, so there weren't many people who knew about it. However, the earth-shattering thing that Little Titan did afterwards couldn't be concealed no matter what methods he used. One of the 5 emperors of Tong Tian Tower, Ocean Emperor Wanlan, his name suddenly darkened on the innate crystal pillar. What did this mean? He was dead. Who killed one of the 5 emperors of Tong Tian Tower? Ocean Emperor Guanlan. Vengeance tracking pointed out 2 names. One was the ultimate killer king, and the other was the newbie who had just entered the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, Little Titan. A newbie who was only registered as a level 6 elder. Before the Ocean Emperor, a level 6 elder was weaker than an ant, and he could kill 100 of them with a single finger. However, no one knew what kind of battle had taken place, but this Little Titan had survived. The Ocean Emperor and Shi, the 2 supreme innates, both died. Only now did the warriors of Tong Tian Tower know the shocking truth. Before this, Little Titan had killed Tiger Nyen, Nightmare, and Demon Eye, the 3 fallen innates in the Thunder Fortress. No one knew when he killed Sky Dragon, one of the 10 great sky demons of the demonic palace. After killing Sky Dragon, the demonic palace did not take revenge on Little Titan. As the leader, Sky Execution did not seem to know that Sky Dragon was killed. Even earlier, there was a rumor that Little Titan, who had not entered the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, had barged into the demon palace alone and killed the ally of the demon king Baruth in front of a few demon kings. Even earlier, it was said that after the Eastern Goblin tribe had captured the soaring dragon continent's king, Little Titan had rushed into the ancient passage and chased after the Eastern Goblin tribe. After the Dragon Emperor of the Eastern Goblin tribe heard about Little Titan's bravery, he decided to release the captured king. No one knew if it was the Black Hell Army or someone with ulterior motives, but the warriors of Tong Tian Tower finally knew Little Titan's real name. In the soaring dragon continent, this human was called Yu Yang. He was a super genius who relied on his own talent and hard work to become an innate at the age of 20. He was an unprecedented existence, and it was believed that there would be no one like him in the future. The portrait on this wanted poster is really ugly. Mr. Ojin also sent a Sea Clan's wanted poster to Yu Yang. The price on it was 10 million gold, a holy ranked treasure, 10 treasures from the bottom of the sea that were ranked 7 and above, and 100 wisdom fruits. Yu Yang was very dissatisfied with the portrait of the Gemini mask on the wanted poster. He felt that the portrait was too ugly, but he was still satisfied with the reward because he was the most valuable wanted criminal in the history of Tong Tian Tower. Xiao San, I didn't expect you to be so valuable. You saw it and couldn't stop laughing. You're still far from it. Kill all the Dragon Emperor, Sky Emperor, and Emperor of the Underworld, and raise the reward to 100 million gold. That would be impressive enough. City Mistress Fallen Flowers was in a good mood. She hugged Yu Yang and kissed him, encouraging Yu Yang to continue working hard. If he killed all the 4 emperors, who would dare to put up a wanted poster for him? Furthermore, he doesn't have that much money. Sickly Beauty felt that 10 million gold was the limit. That's right, Grandpa, and she only has a wanted poster of 5 million gold. He's only half of brothers. Yu Bing was proud of her brother. That old man and she is dead. Otherwise, this wanted poster would be his, and his would be mine. Yu Yang laughed and waved his hand heroically. Let's not care about the Sea Clan first. We should focus on training now. With strength, we don't have to be afraid of anyone. Fallen Flowers and Wu Hin can rest for a while. Anan, you should focus on leveling up now. Follow me. Wait. City Mistress Fallen Flowers hugged Yu Yang's waist. She slipped her head under his side and wrapped it around Yu Yang's chest. She raised her face and asked coquettishly, Jiang Ying said before that I want to know about that Hien Wu. If not for this wanted poster, it seems like there are still many things that we don't know. Good man, aren't you going to explain? Little San, you have to explain clearly. You did not help Yu Yang this time. Brother will definitely not like the daughter of the Ocean Emperor. It's impossible. Brother is the enemy who killed her father. Only Yu Bing would always believe in her brother. It doesn't matter if they are related. Anyway, Hien Wu won't make much of a difference. Sickly Beauty's words definitely added fuel to the fire, even though it was her true feelings. I really have nothing to do with her. We're just passing by. Yu Yang waved his hand guiltily, showing that he was a good boy who did not flirt. Really? All right, I believe you as if. City Mistress Fallen Flowers fiercely bit Yu Yang's chest. All right. If he says he has nothing to do with it, then he has nothing to do with it. Everyone, don't make wild guesses. I also don't think it's possible. Anan hurriedly rescued Yu Yang from City Mistress Fallen Flowers. She lovingly rubbed Yu Yang's chest. Does it hurt? If you have something to say, then say it. Why did you bite me? I can't bite him to death. City Mistress Fallen Flowers was originally not that kind of unruly princess. However, seeing Anan protecting Yu Yang in every way, she felt unhappy. She had to be angry at this girl who dared to pledge to marry herself, and even used the excuse of betrothing her sister to Yu Yang. One must know that until now, Anan was only 18 years old. When she met Yu Yang, she was only 16 years old. She was still a brat. At 16 years old, she dared to pledge to marry herself. With such a comparison, City Mistress Fallen Flowers felt that her 16 years old self was as pure as a little white flower. I'll deal with you tonight. Yu Yang did not say it out loud, but his expression meant it. He warned City Mistress Fallen Flowers not to be too complacent, or else he would punish her. Do you think I'll be afraid of a big pervert like you? City Mistress Fallen Flowers did not say anything, but her expression showed that her threat was ineffective. At most, she would act as the brave girl and fight the Demon King tonight. Anan and Yu Bing could not see. Even if they saw, they probably would not understand the meaning of Yu Yang and Fallen Flowers' expressions. Yu saw it and understood it as well. Her face turned red, her heart trembled, and she quickly left. When Anan returned to the grimoire world with Yu Yang and prepared to start training, Yu Yang habitually used his Heaven Eyes divine vision to observe Anan's training progress. Suddenly, he exclaimed in surprise. This was because he realized that Anan's progress was far beyond his imagination. She was 10 times stronger than what he had imagined. To be precise, the current Anan, if not in terms of combat skills, had probably surpassed Yu, Sickly Beauty, City Mistress Fallen Flowers, and even surpassed Princess Sisai in terms of mental strength. She was catching up to Shui Wuxia, only below the Impatiens who had the charm, inherent skill, and himself who had the Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus. This Anan girl, how did she train? How could she be so fast? Yu Yang was curious. Could it be that Anan's aunt had some secret technique that could quickly increase Anan's strength? Or was it that the 100 Flowers Valley was a mysterious treasure land, and training in the 100 Flowers Valley could allow Anan to quickly increase her mental strength? Actually, it's because Anan seemed to know what Yu Yang wanted to ask. With a little joy and bashfulness, she organized her words and said, Chapter 495, and said that the best way to train one's spirit is to maintain an ethereal mind, allowing the body to be still like a dormant state, allowing one's spirit to expand infinitely. But I couldn't calm my heart down, so so I thought of a way. Anan blushed, feeling a little embarrassed. She lowered her head and didn't dare to look at Yu Yang. After a while, she peeked at him from under her eyelids. Her voice was even softer than a mosquito's buzz. Once, I accidentally discovered that if I tried my best to think of you, I would be able to maintain one's heart. Although it wasn't an ethereal state, it was still better than letting my imagination run wild. Then, with the help of my guardian beast, little elf, and spirit mirror, I understood a very mysterious realm, and said that it was the ethereal realm. Yu Yang muttered to himself. He knew that Anan would have some achievements in spirit, but he couldn't understand the ethereal realm that Anan mentioned. Anan thought that he didn't believe her, so she summoned her gold grimoire. The light shone brightly. The protective shield quickly expanded. Compared to before, Yu Yang felt that this protective shield was much bigger. Furthermore, it faintly possessed a different kind of spiritual defense. Looking at Anan's grimoire again, it was still a level 7 overlord and hadn't leveled up to level 8 emperor. However, Yu Yang felt that Anan's spirit had already surpassed many innate rankers. It was just that her close combat strength was too weak. Under special circumstances, for example, the enemy couldn't attack Anan from the start, or under special protection, then Anan would probably be able to torture an innate level 2 ranker to death with her spirit. During the battle at the Prison Emperor Divine Palace, Yu Yang could see the potential of this Anan girl. She could really kill people invisibly. Her coordination with the spirit mirror was simply perfect. Little elf, elemental type, guardian beast, silver ranked level 3, living body, spiritual, special skills, assist, clear mind, spirit chain. Spirit mirror, special type beast, gold ranked level 5, illusory spiritual body, no spiritual sense, special skills. Mirror transformation, spirit absorption, spirit mirror fusion. Other than these two beasts with limitless potential, Anan also had 2 hallucinatory butterflies and a silver Pegasus. As for the spider demoness that was afraid to fight previously, it had not been used for a long time. Yu Yang and Anan had almost forgotten about it. Yu Yang had never fully nurtured Anan because she was never the main fighting force. In terms of attack power and lethality, Anan was even weaker than Yu Bing. If it was in the past, Yu Yang did not have the most effective way to improve Anan. After all, spiritual power was not his strongest area. However, after body fusion with Impatience, the spiritual power produced by Impatience's charm, inherent skill, and the charm demon queen's soul-frightening spiritual power had merged with Yu Yang's spiritual power, greatly strengthening Yu Yang's spiritual power. When Yu Yang helped Impatience to enter the Elder innate realm, he realized that Anan's spiritual potential was simply a treasure trove. No wonder the goddess of mercy chose Anan as the owner of the spirit mirror in the Virgo temple of the 12 zodiac temples, and not Shui Wuxia or Yu Bing. I didn't know how to do it before, but from now on, I will make you stronger. You might even become stronger than Fallen Flowers and the others. Yu Yang couldn't help but feel apologetic. He had given the least to Anan, but she had never complained. He reached out and naturally hugged Anan. Gently and shallowly, he kissed her smooth and flawless forehead. Anan's body trembled slightly. She raised her small hands and slowly closed them. She also hugged the lover that she had missed countless times. As for Anan, Yu Yang was not in a hurry to promote her, because he knew that she had unlimited potential. This treasure trove could not be easily wasted. He had to use the best way to open it. In addition to thinking about it himself, he also wanted to discuss it with Impatience and Night Empress to see if they had any better ideas. Of course, this did not prevent Yu Yang and Anan from practicing body fusion. They had done it many times before. This time, after a passionate hug, they began to do it again. Yu Yang bent down. Anan tried to suppress her heartbeat. Her blushing face was slightly raised. Her eyes were closed, and her breathing quickened. Her cherry lips were impatient. As she tiptoed, she kissed her lover's fiery lips. Almost at the same time, Anan's jade-like arms had already wrapped around Yu Yang's neck. She hugged him tightly. In the midst of her intense heartbeat, there was joy, emotion, nervousness, and shyness. She felt the suction of his lips. An electric current flowed between their lips and finally spread to her whole body. Sweetness was exchanged in the kiss, and the fire of passion was burning in the passionate kiss, not knowing how long it had been. And Anne, who felt that her lips were a little swollen and painful, reluctantly let go of her lover. She felt as if her face was burning and her whole body was limp. She had no strength at all. However, she liked the feeling of lying lazily in his arms. It was very safe and very blissful. She didn't need to think about anything. With him hugging her, it was equivalent to having the whole world. What thousand-year hatred? What thousand-year secret? Everything was far away from her at this moment. Tired? Yu Yang gently picked up Anne. The little girl's body was as light as a feather, almost weightless. Anne shook her head lightly. She didn't have the slightest intention to resist when he carried her to the bed. It felt very natural. Even if he took another step forward and wanted her, she wouldn't reject him at all. In fact, she didn't even think about these things. She only knew to snuggle in his arms and immerse herself in the little world of love between the two of them. She let her heart and soul be entangled in the embrace of the two of them. She enjoyed this sweet and warm moment very much. As long as she was with him, she would no longer be lonely. She would no longer be the descendant of the 100 Flowers Valley who had to bear hatred. She would be his fiancée. In Anne, kisses will never be enough. Over and over again. On the second day, when Anne stood in front of everyone with a radiant face, everyone discovered that Anne, who had been nourished by love, emitted a kind of astonishing beauty from her body. It was as if she had become another person. Because she had enough of being entangled with Yu Yang at night, Anne didn't pester Yu Yang during the day. Instead, she took the initiative to train her battle skills with Yu Bing. After that, she went to help fourth mother cook. For the whole day, Anne was full of energy as she busied herself. City Mistress Fallen Flowers observed for a long time and realized that this Anne girl wasn't actually pushed down. She couldn't help but be curious about Yu Yang. What's going on? You're not eating the lamb that's already in your mouth? I'll eat it after you fatten up a little. Yu Yang stretched out his wolfish claws and caressed City Mistress Fallen Flowers' fragrant butt. Hypocrite. City Mistress Fallen Flowers didn't care about her lover's teasing. In any case, he had already played with her. So what's a little touch? She retaliated by reaching her hand into his pants and touching him, while nibbling on his earlobe. So you've starved after pretending to be a good child. So pitiful, I'll dote on you tonight. The two of them were flirting with each other when Yu came to find Yu Yang urgently. She flew over, and when she saw her brother and Fallen Flowers' ambiguous posture, she was instantly stunned. When she regained her senses, she hurriedly turned around and left. It's over, she saw just now. Yu Yang was rather embarrassed. It seemed that his image in Yu's heart was ruined. Isn't it all because of you? City Mistress Fallen Flowers' jade-like face was completely red. When the beautiful female hero was battling the Demon King, it didn't matter how she used her seduction technique to deal with him. It was very normal for a married couple to do that. However, flirting in the courtyard made people realize that City Mistress Fallen Flowers was really embarrassed. She used her pink fist to fiercely pound on Yu Yang's shoulder. Her anger had yet to dissipate as she rolled her eyes at him coquettishly. If it wasn't for his wolfish claws caressing her regardless of the situation, she wouldn't have been so daring to put her hand into his pants. Fortunately, it wasn't fourth mother who saw it. Otherwise, she would be even more shameless. Yu Yang hesitated for a while and decided to look for Yu. Maybe she really had something urgent. He realized that Yu's ears were completely red. When she saw Yu Yang enter, she immediately waved her hands to show that she wasn't hiding anything. Xiao-san, I didn't see anything, don't think too much. I'm looking for you regarding the runic circle. You can continue with your work. I have nothing to do here, even if I'm late. When Yu Yang heard this, he was speechless. Yu Yang decided not to level up in Nan's guardian beasts, Little Fairy and Spirit Mirror for the time being. He would wait for impatience to come back and discuss about it. However, for Anan's Silver Pegasus and 2 hallucinatory butterflies, Yu Yang decided to immediately raise their levels and battle power. Inan's weakness was close combat. With the Silver Pegasus, her movement speed would be guaranteed. As for the hallucinatory butterflies, they were currently Inan's attacking weapon. Before the spirit mirror could display its full power, they would be Inan's limited attacking force. Before this, the Silver Pegasus had already leveled up from silver-ranked to gold-ranked because it had received the Golden Horseshoe's blessing and the reward for clearing the trial. It was now gold-ranked level 3, but because it wasn't a battle-type beast and wasn't nurtured properly, the Silver Pegasus leveling speed was very slow. The hallucinatory butterflies were even more pitiful. Although they were evolved forms of the hallucinatory butterflies, they were only silver-ranked level 4. They couldn't even compare to the Silver Pegasus. Nurturing a beast was a very long process. Of course, it was like that for others, but for Yu Yang, the difficulty of nurturing a beast didn't exist at all, especially a beast that could consume magic crystals. First, he took out the 2C clan innate orbs that he had refined after killing in the graveyard of the sea. He gave one to the Silver Pegasus and the other to the 2 hallucinatory butterflies to help them level up. If the Silver Pegasus and the hallucinatory butterflies wanted to completely digest the innate orbs, it would take at least a few decades. Furthermore, they didn't have Hui Tai Lang's endurance. They might even explode. Of course, Yu Yang wouldn't sit and watch such a tragedy happen. The innate chi and nirvana flame turned the Silver Pegasus into a flaming horse. It was so painful that its 4 hooves couldn't support it and fell to the ground, neighing miserably. It burned for a whole 10 minutes before the transformation ended. Yu Shuang, who was watching from the sidelines, was about to cry. In the end, the Silver Pegasus successfully changed and leveled up. In a bright light, it changed from a gold-ranked level 3 Silver Pegasus to a platinum-ranked level 2 Silverhorn Pegasus. The pair of wings that had been burnt had regrown. A silver horn grew out of its forehead, and its 4 hooves became golden. With every step it took, a small halo spread out. It didn't need to spread its wings to float in the air, unstained by dust. Its silver eyes flashed with intelligence. Gold-ranked and platinum-ranked were completely different. This was a huge qualitative change. 95% of normal beasts wouldn't be able to level up to gold-ranked. 95% of gold-ranked beasts wouldn't be able to level up to platinum-ranked. As for diamond-ranked beasts, that was simply not the way for beasts to evolve. Only under special circumstances could a diamond-ranked beast be born. Hence, platinum-ranked was actually the final evolution point that many beasts yearned to reach in their entire lives. After the evolution, the silver-horned Pegasus's limbs were even more slender, and its body was even more graceful. Its body proportions were breathtaking, and its skin was as white as snow. It could be said that no horse in the world could compare to it. Initially, when Yu Yang gave it to Inan, it was only a silver-ranked level 1 creature, but it was already enough to make Inan overjoyed. Now, seeing that it had successfully leveled up to platinum-ranked, she cheered excitedly. Tears of joy flowed from her eyes. Platinum-ranked level 2 was definitely not the final evolution point for the Silverhorn Pegasus. In its stomach, the ore that had not been completely absorbed was enough to support it to continue leveling up. Nay, 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 nay. The Silverhorn Pegasus raised its head, raised its hooves in the air, and stood up like a human, letting out a long neigh. It used its snow-white wings to gently lift Inan up and signaled its master to ride on its back. It seemed like it wanted to bring Inan to the sky for a tour. Even faster than Inan, Yu Shuang, who was as impatient as a monkey, flipped onto its back and grabbed onto its elegant silver mane. She shouted excitedly, "Fly, I want to fly high." Yu Yang did not have time to play with this little girl and turned towards the 2 hallucinatory butterflies. Yu Yang had seen through their evolution direction with his heaven eyes divine vision. They were completely different from the silver-horned Pegasus and would become hallucinatory butterfly demons that killed people without batting an eyelid and sucked blood for a living. Gold-ranked, humanoid, demonic body, mind confusing, sprinkling poison powder, paralyzing the enemy, sucking blood. This kind of hallucinatory butterfly demon was already very powerful, but could it be even more powerful? For example, could it add on nightmare and demonize abilities? Yang thought like this. Chapter 496. Unlike the silver-horned Pegasus, the hallucinatory butterflies once again evolved from the combination of the Sea Clan's innate orb, Nightmare Soul Pearl, and Demon Eye Crystal. Yu Yang's prediction was successful. When the chrysalis period ended, the two hallucinatory butterflies would definitely become terrifying hallucinatory butterfly demons. Not only would they be hallucinatory butterfly demons, they would also possess some of the special skills of Nightmare and Demon Eye. This way, they would become one of the most important methods to kill the enemy in battle. Hallucination, poison powder, blood-sucking, in addition to Nightmare and Demon Eye, Yu Yang reckoned that even if he didn't raise Enan to the innate realm, with her current mental power, 2 hallucination butterfly demons, and spirit mirror, she would probably be able to kill enemies who were innate level 3 and below. In a battle where the weak won against the strong, Enan would most likely become the person with the greatest contrast, even above Yu Bing, who had intense poison inherent skill. Enan also had a spider demoness that was almost forgotten. Yu Yang felt that this spider demoness potential was not that bad and was passable. If she did not know Jiang Ying, the spider empress, then this spider demoness was not worth nurturing. When Jiang Ying wakes up, she should have a way to level up the spider demoness. At that time, there might be a surprise. Really? Then I have to thank Sister Jiang Ying properly. Enan did not mind that Jiang Ying was a hornless dragon who had transformed into a human and nodded happily. Actually, the spider demoness was still considered loyal and would not betray her natural enemy. It was just that her level was too low and she did not have enough intelligence. She was frightened by the bronze-ranked barbaric bull that could instantly kill all living things. The bronze-ranked barbaric bull had long been possessed by the phantom shadow and became the current barbaric bull shadow. Yu Yang felt that Enan did not have enough offensive beasts. With a spider demoness holding the enemy back, it would be a great help to Enan. What Enan lacked now was a weapon that could increase her mental strength. It would be best if it was a wholly ranked artifact. If that was the case, even innate rankers would be scared and flee if they met her. Of course, Enan's real battle power would not be in solo battles. It was a team battle. If there was Princess Sisai with the Prison Emperor Divine Sword in front of them, Shui Wuxiao with her thunder and ice frost from behind, Sickly Beauty's crystal shield to protect them, City Mistress Fallen Flowers' aurora light. From afar, Yu Bing's intense poison inherent skill and Enan's mental hallucination. With such a combination, even Shun Tian, who had the 5 transformations power, or the Black Prince, who had the green phosphorus ghost fire, would have a headache. He wondered how Princess Sisai and Shui Wuxiao were doing with their cultivation. Especially Shui Wuxiao. With Ji Zun's personal guidance, what realm would she grow to? There must be a bigger breakthrough than Enan, right? Yin Ji Tigress. Could she control the Prison Emperor Divine Sword completely? In Yu Yang's heart, he was really looking forward to the return of the 2 girls. On one hand, he missed Shui Wuxia and Princess Sisai. On the other hand, Yu Yang wanted to increase the strength of Enan and City Mistress Fallen Flowers. After all, an individual's strength could not be compared to a team's. It was still all right now. After defeating the Black Hell King, he would probably head to the Heaven Realm. At that time, it would not be enough for him to face the 3 great leaders of the Heaven Realm, or even more Heaven Realm rankers. Because of their reunion after a short separation, Enan was especially gentle towards Yu Yang. She changed her attitude of brother Enan. At night, she did not pester him and asked him to go back to City Mistress Fallen Flowers. As long as they could have half an hour of lovey-dovey time, or practice couple body fusion, together, Enan would be very satisfied. She, who was still in a spiritual relationship, did not have many thoughts of lust. Yu Yang's gentle caresses and kisses were enough to make her feel satisfied. Of course, even though she was a little shy, she did not reject Yu Yang's wolfish claws. Sometimes when he reached into her clothes and touched her, she did not have any thoughts of resistance. Instead, she happily immersed herself in the pleasure of her lover's touch. It was precisely because of her silent encouragement and the relaxation in her heart that the couple's body fusion, cultivation progressed rapidly. When she used her mind to lead Yu Yang into the ethereal realm that she had comprehended, during body fusion, she and Yu Yang comprehended an even higher level of heavenly heart together. Compared to Inan, fallen flowers, and sickly beauty, who practiced couple body fusion almost every night, improved even more. Yu Bing was extremely hardworking. Sometimes, Yu Yang would specially tutor her, so her close combat skills improved the most. As for her 1,000-year-old Treant General leveling up, Yu Yang had already prepared for it. Under the support of the wisdom fruit, lustrous branch, everlasting leaf, underground spring dew, and the evil tree root of the evil millennium ancient tree, Yu Bing's 2,000-year-old Treant Generals started to evolve. Green light filled the air, and golden light blossomed from the two Trent's bodies. Yu Yang used Nirvana Flame to burn the 1,000-year-old Treant General's branches, leaves, and body, then used innate Qi to recover. Meanwhile, Yu Bing's green light tree demonis continued to turn green, causing the Treant General to grow continuously while burning in pain, releasing all of its potential. The tree bark suddenly exploded. The tree trunk inside grew taller, the tree arms grew longer, the branches and leaves grew in the flames, and the tender shoots sprouted green. The golden light was like a chain connecting the two Treants. When they grew to about 20 meters tall, they almost stopped, preparing to evolve and stabilize into the state of the 10,000-year-old ancient tree king. Yu Yang poured 2 barrels of Titan's blood that he had already prepared on the tree roots. When the green light tree demoness saw it, she immediately used her spirit root skill, allowing the 2 evolving Treants to desperately absorb the energy of the Titan's blood. Almost at the same time they absorbed, the 2 Treants started to grow crazily. The tree trunk gradually changed, becoming black and glossy as it grew taller. At the same time, it became thicker and stopped when it reached a height of 30 meters. The 2 Trent's tree trunks gradually turned into human shapes. Huge tree arms hung down, and the treetop looked more like a human head, with facial features and long tree roots that were connected to the emerald green branches and leaves. The jet black body became thicker and sturdier, and 2 huge legs that looked like human and tree roots grew out. As Yu Yang carved the heaven rune circle on their bodies, the 2 Trent's bodies also continuously turned into Titan skin color, with a hint of dark gold within the jet black body. When Yu Yang's heaven rune circle was inserted, the 2 Treants actually leaped up and jumped into the air. With another rumbling sound, they smashed deeply into the ground, their tree roots deeply piercing into the ground. They had officially surpassed the gold-ranked 10,000-year-old ancient tree king. They had surpassed the limit of growth and evolved into a platinum-ranked level 1 Titan ancient tree, a brand new species, a brand new beast created by Yu Yang himself, Titan ancient tree. Battle-type guardian beast, platinum-ranked level 1. It has the body of a Titan, the king of all trees. It is immune to evil interference and weakens lightning attacks. Its branches and leaves are evergreen and do not wilt. Its roots absorb the blood of living creatures and the energy of the earth to restore itself. It possesses the special skills entanglement of roots, stun hit, whip, poison sting, and trample. Brother, when Yu Bing saw this, she was so excited that her face turned red. She excitedly pulled Yu Yang's hand and jumped. She jumped and jumped, but she couldn't express the happiness in her heart no matter what. She was already extremely satisfied to be able to level up to become a 10,000-year-old ancient tree king. Now, her brother had specially created a brand new beast for her, a unique Titan ancient tree. How could you not be moved by this? Yu, Inan, and the others were also happy for her. They all congratulated Yu Bing for obtaining a strong new beast. Only Yu Shuang looked at it for a long time and muttered, "The tree is very big, but it doesn't seem like it can bear fruit." Actually, the thing that this little girl wanted the most was to eat fruits. As for other things, she ignored them. Two titan ancient trees were already enough to become Yu Bing's strong arms. Next, it was how to nurture this element-type guardian beast, the green light tree demoness. Although the titan ancient trees mutation was successful, it didn't increase Yu Bing's strength by much. The green light tree demoness that could fuse with its master would increase Yu Bing's strength by a lot. Furthermore, it would be easier for it to evolve into a holy beast. Titan ancient tree? Wait for their wooden brains to grow high intelligence and evolve into a holy beast? That would be really difficult. The problem was that the green light tree demoness level was still low. It was only silver ranked level 3. If they wanted to nurture it, they would need to spend a lot of time. It's all right. With these two titan ancient trees, I can help brother in battle. Yu Bing was full of confidence. With these two strong titan ancient trees, in addition to her own mind control and intense poison inherent skills, her battle power would definitely increase by 10 times. Indeed, let Bing Air get used to controlling these two titan ancient trees first. Don't worry about the green light tree demoness. I'll think of something. Maybe it would be useful for Bing Air's green light tree demoness. City Mistress Fallen Flowers caressed Yu Bing's little face with her lily-white hands. Not to mention that she was her sister-in-law. Even before they had established their relationship, she had already looked at Bing Air in a different light. Now, she naturally doted on her even more. Thank you, sister-in-law. Yu Bing was the most polite. If it wasn't for Anan's special emphasis on calling her sister in front of others, she would have called her sister-in-law. As for City Mistress Fallen Flowers and Sickly Beauty, Yu Bing had long since called them sister-in-law. While everyone was still celebrating the birth of the Titan Ancient Tree, at the other side of the corridor, a mature lady that Yu Yang hadn't seen for a long time walked over with big strides. She was Drunken Cat. Unlike usual, she wasn't drunk now. She was very sober. Tian Luo Emperor Hua Su had received Yu Yang's Titan's blood a few days ago. Today, he asked Drunken Cat to give him a treasure in return, the Dream Jadeite. Before she could take out the Dream Jadeite, Drunken Cat was pulled over by City Mistress Fallen Flowers and the others for a chat. Compared to Drunken Cat, Little Panda Girl Nyonyo was more popular with Yu Yang. This cute little panda girl also liked Yu Yang very much. After greeting the girls politely, she sneaked a glance at Yu Yang. When she realized that there was no one beside him, she immediately opened her arms and rushed over. She threw herself into Yu Yang's arms and shouted loudly, "Brother, Nyonyo misses you so much." That's right, Nyonyo drew a picture for you as a gift. Grandpa said it's very beautiful. The grandpa she was talking about was that old fox, Shui Donglu. Yu Yang was curious. What kind of picture did little panda girl draw for him? Did she know how to draw? Nyonyo glanced at Drunken Cat mysteriously. Then, she quietly leaned over to Yu Yang and said, "Don't let Mommy see it. Otherwise, she'll be angry. Mommy doesn't allow Nyonyo to draw brother. This is what Grandpa taught me." She took out a drawing. When Yu Yang looked at it, he saw that there were 3 people drawn on it with messy lines. On the left was a tall man with unkempt hair. In the middle was a chubby girl with black and white hair. On the right was a tall woman with long hair. The 3 of them stood hand in hand. In addition, there was a sun, moon, and stars in the sky. On the ground, there were a few flowers and some grass. Yu Yang understood at a glance. However, he pretended not to understand and asked, "Who is this? Is it Nyonyo?" "Yes, this is me. This is Mommy. And this is brother. Don't let Mommy see it. Otherwise, she'll spank Nyonyo's butt." Little panda girl Nyonyo gestured to Yu Yang to quickly keep this precious picture. "Nyonyo is so obedient. I'll reward you with a malt candy." Yu Yang was definitely an expert at coaxing children. From afar, Drunken Cat rolled her eyes at him. It was obvious that she knew about this picture. However, she pretended not to know because of Nyonyo the little panda girl. Yu Yang coughed and carried Nyonyo over. He asked her, "What treasure does your majesty want to bestow upon me?" Drunken Cat extended her hand and said, "Give me your Qilin wine in exchange." Yu Yang was speechless. He knew it would be like this. Chapter 497. Yu Yang had given the Qilin wine to Jun Wu Yu, Elder Yu Hai, and the old fox before. Drunken Cat must have found out about it. Of course there's wine, but you're not allowed to get drunk. Yu Yang quickly pretended to be a child. If there wasn't city mistress Fallen Flowers, sickly beauty, and Yu Yu beside him, and there was only Drunken Cat, he would probably get her drunk. The Qilin wine is famous in the whole Tong Tian Tower. I've never tried it before. Take it out quickly. Before Drunken Cat drank, she was definitely a violent woman. She grabbed Yu Yang's collar. It seemed that if Yu Yang didn't take it out, she would push him down on the spot. Sickly beauty and city mistress Fallen Flowers were already used to it. However, this was only because Yu Yang was strong enough. If it was someone else, upon seeing Drunken Cat's violent aura, they probably wouldn't even open their mouths and would directly offer the wine to her with both hands. They wouldn't even dare to look her in the eye. Princess Sisai couldn't be compared to Drunken Cat. Although Tigress also loved violence, she would only do it to people she knew. She wouldn't do it to outsiders. Drunken Cat would be violent to everyone, unless she was drunk. However, the panda girl Nyonyo would be even more violent to protect her mother. Yu Yang took out the Qilin wine, but didn't pass it to her immediately. Instead, he asked, "You've already broken through to the innate realm?" When he said that, City Mistress Fallen Flowers and Sickly Beauty were stunned. They turned around and looked at Drunken Cat. Sickly Beauty even changed her usual demure demeanor and hugged her happily. She cheered. "Sister Yi, why didn't you tell us that you've broken through to the innate realm? What did you break through?" "I don't know either." When Drunken Cat said that, everyone fell to the ground. Mommy isn't innate when she's drunk. Nyonyo's words made Yu Yang sweat profusely. However, when he thought about it, he felt that it made sense. "I understand. You are now in two states. One is when you are sober as a lesser innate, and when you're drunk, you are a level 2 innate. The difference between the two is huge. If this continues for a long time, your body won't be able to take it." Yu Yang held onto Drunken Cat's pulse without any hesitation and channeled a strand of innate qi into her body. Then he used his Heaven Eyes divine vision to observe the condition of her body and came to a conclusion. Your long-term addiction to alcohol is caused by these two states. Other than the fact that you like to drink, you also subconsciously wish to stay in the innate realm for a long period of time. That's why you try your best to get drunk. Isn't that good? Anyway, there's alcohol to drink and increase my strength. There's nothing bad about it. I think I'm pretty good. Drunken Cat tried her best to snatch the Qilin wine from Yu Yang's hands, but with her strength, it was not easy for her to snatch something from Yu Yang's hands. "Sister Yi, drinking alcohol for a long period of time is definitely not good for your body." Sickly Beauty advised gently. She had advised her countless times already. "How can I live without alcohol?" Drunken Cat expressed that she could live without anything, but she must drink alcohol. What will happen in the long term? Yu Yu was attentive and could hear the warning in Yu Yang's words. She asked, "Xiao San, quickly tell everyone. After drinking, she will become crazier and crazier. When she is drunk, her strength will increase faster and faster, but when she is sober, she will always be stuck in the lesser innate realm. When she reaches innate level 3 and above, or even innate level 4 or 5, her body will not be able to take it and might even be destroyed. If she drinks this bottle of Qilin wine, she will fall into a deep sleep for a few days. All the alcohol will be converted into energy, and her body will also be damaged. Her body can still take it now, but when she reaches innate level 3, her body will not be strong enough, and it will be very painful. She will need to drink all day, and if she doesn't get drunk for a day, she will feel like her body will explode." Yu Yang warned with a hint of intimidation and a hint of truth. Actually, if Drunken Cat continued drinking, her body might not explode, but her body might adjust automatically, and her realm would not increase anymore, and she would remain stagnant. The only danger would be during a battle. If she increased her realm one day and was in a special area without alcohol to drink, then Drunken Cat would be in extreme pain. After hearing what Yu Yang said, Sickly Beauty and City Mistress Fallen Flowers suddenly understood. Why did Sister Yi love alcohol so much? It was because she subconsciously wanted a drink to maintain a higher state. If her body also needed to drink to feel comfortable, it had become an instinctive habit. Of course, this kind of result was definitely not the best growth. To be able to reach innate realm, drinking was only a strong support, it was not absolute. Furthermore, if she kept drinking like this, definitely not. Is there no other way? Think of one for her. City Mistress Fallen Flowers looked at Yu Yang, asking him to come up with an idea. Tell her not to drink anymore. Yu Yang laughed. No, if there's no alcohol to drink, I'll just die. Drunken Cat rolled her eyes at Yu Yang, raised her fist, and punched heavily, wanting to send Yu Yang flying, but he caught it with one hand. There's another way, which is to break through to innate realm when you are sober and close the gap. This way, even if you're stronger when you are drunk, your body will not be injured. For example, if you are innate level 3 when you're drunk and you're innate level 2 when you're normal, it will not affect you much. Yu Yang's words made Drunken Cat a little tempted. Although drinking was the first priority, her body was still important. She could not let it be destroyed. How can I induce Sister Yi to enter innate realm when she is sober? Sickly Beauty felt that this was a little difficult. Get angry. Yu Yang giggled as he kept the Qilin wine. When Drunken Cat was about to make her move, he nodded, indicating that this was the kind of angry state he wanted. That day, when the Eastern Goblin tribe attacked, Drunken Cat single-handedly killed the abnormally strong plum leopard. Yu Yang did not understand how she did it, but now he understood. Although this Drunken Cat Big Sis was not drunk, when she was in a state of anger, her strength exploded and she killed her opponent. This was similar to Yu Yang's uncontrollable state when his power increased by 10 times after he went berserk. When City Mistress Fallen Flowers heard this, she immediately patted Yu Yang's shoulder. I'll leave Sister Yi to you. Sickly Beauty also expressed her confidence in her lover. Yu followed them and left. Yu Bing and Inan went to train together, testing the power of their new beasts. In the end, only the Drunken Cat Big Sis and Yu Yang were left. Of course, there was also the little panda Nyonyo. However, her eyes were smiling like crescent moons, not knowing that her mother was about to fall into the big bad wolf's mouth and become a delicacy. Isn't it easy to get angry? I beat so many people in a day, but I didn't trigger any innate state. Drunken Cat expressed her disbelief. That's not real anger. Yu Yang threw a golden coconut to Nyonyo, telling her to share it with Yu Shuang. He then waved his hand at the doubtful Drunken Cat. Follow me. I promise you that you will be cured in a few days. You can drink as much as you want in the future. Really, Drunken Cat did not believe Yu Yang at first, but when she heard him say that she could drink as much as she wanted in the future, she was a little moved. For the sake of good wine, she decided to follow him. They entered the training hall. Yu Yang first asked Drunken Cat what relationship she had with the Night Empress, but Drunken Cat did not answer. He guessed that this girl was a descendant of the Night Empress. She might even be the niece of the Tian Luo Emperor, Hua Su Ri. She might be the cousin of City Mistress Fallen Flowers and the cousin of Sickly Beauty. Of course, Drunken Cat was definitely older than City Mistress Fallen Flowers and Sickly Beauty. According to her cultivation, Yu Yang had reason to suspect that this mature sister was already 100 years old spinster. To the people of Earth, 100 years old was a birthday. To the people of the soaring dragon continent, 100 years old was just a youth. To the higher-ups of Tong Tian Tower, 100 years old was still a child. Not to mention other things, just comparing the Golden Elves, Bao-Er was already 160 years old, but she was still a lowly. 160 years old earthling? Even if she was placed in a coffin, her bones would have already withered. To the innate rankers who could easily live for hundreds or even thousands of years, 100 years old warrior was just the beginning. There was no one like Yu Yang, who was so abnormal that he became an innate at the age of 20. This made all the old fellows feel ashamed. Yu Yang didn't even dare to ask Drunken Cat's age. That would definitely be courting death. When he asked Drunken Cat's name again, she still turned her head away and didn't answer. Of course she had a name, but Yu Yang didn't know it. All right, since you're not related to the Night Empress, then I can rest assured. Yu Yang took out his gold-ranked dragon-slaying spear, looking like a bully who wanted to take liberties with an innocent woman. You want to fight? That's easy. Drunken Cat was not afraid at all. She immediately took out a bronze-ranked halberd from the weapon rack in the training hall. Previously, she had changed her name to the Dragon Spear Lady and fought her way through the 100 Schools Elite Tournament. If it wasn't for the Eastern Goblin Tribe's attack, she would still be fighting with Yu Yang. Now it was the perfect time. She wanted to fight with him. Yu Yang expressed that there were conditions for fighting. We will fight 3 rounds. I will put my strength at the same level as you. We will fight purely based on techniques and personal experience. I won't use my strength to bully you. However, if you lose, you have to promise me a condition. For example, if I ask to touch your chest, you can't resist. Do you understand? Drunken Cat was enraged. Her beautiful eyes stared at Yu Yang like a spear. Yu Yang acted as if he didn't see it. He smiled and waved his hand. Don't worry. If you win, I will let you touch me. If you want to touch me, I will definitely not resist. If you don't want to lose, then use your greatest strength and best techniques. I guarantee that I will be like a sober lesser innate. I won't need any beasts to support me. If you can level up to an innate, then you can definitely win against me. If you can't win, you can only blame yourself for being useless. Drunken Cat, who was about to explode in anger, was speechless again. Indeed, she had the upper hand in this kind of fight. Moreover, she also understood that he deliberately said that to motivate her. However, even so, she couldn't stand it. This was obscenity. Definitely. Drunken Cat really wanted to throw her spear away and not fight. She would rather die in the future. However, when she saw the faintly discernible smile in his eyes, as if he was mocking her cowardice, she was immediately enraged. She shouted and stabbed her spear into the ground. Let's fight then. If I win, I will let you arrogant pervert, bark like a dog. You dare to tease me. Do you not know how to write the word death? Her whole body erupted with power. Her aura was majestic, like a raging sea. The entire martial training hall trembled under the shockwave of her aura. A huge silver dragon image appeared above her head. It wasn't a beast, but it was a little like a domain. Of course, it was still far from a real domain, but just this alone was already terrifying enough. A lesser innate with energy close to a domain. It was easy to imagine how strong she was. Today is a good day. Yu Yang was completely unmoved. He was writing in his diary, preparing to commemorate this magnificent feat of touching her chest openly. Chapter 498. Now, Yu Yang finally understood why those students called Drunken Cat Dragon Spear Lady. The reason was because of her unique battle technique. Every time she thrust it out, the spear aura would be in the shape of a dragon. Although she was furious, Drunken Cat did not lose her rationality. She used the little dragon pathfinder with a probing nature and flew towards Yu Yang's heart. She knew that there was a 90% chance that she was not this brat's opponent. She had to be extremely cautious, or else she might be defeated in one move. And the 10% chance of defeating him was to enter the innate realm. How to achieve that without getting drunk was the goal of today's training. For this, she agreed to the humiliating condition of letting him attack her breasts if she lost. Under such pressure, she hoped that she could break through, and break through again, and beat this brat into a fallen flowers. Insufficient technique, insufficient aura, insufficient killing intent. Yu Yang said 3 inadequacies in a row. He did not thrust the gold-ranked dragon-slaying spear forward, but reversed the spearhead, rotated it, and used the end of the spear to knock away Drunken Cat's halberd. Then, with a pull, Drunken Cat lost her balance and fell forward involuntarily. Is that so? Drunken Cat was shocked. Luckily, it was just a probing move. If she had attacked with all her strength, she would probably be defeated in one move. When Yu Yang swept his spear, her waist bent backwards as if it was boneless. She bent her waist like an arch bridge and dodged the attack. The spear in her hand that was swung away revolved around her body, dissipating the force of Yu Yang's pull. With one hand pressing on the ground, Drunken Cat drilled out from between her legs like a beautiful snake and flew towards Yu Yang. The halberd in her hand once again exploded out with a spear aura that could swallow everything and counterattack towards Yu Yang. Who would have thought that Yu Yang in front of her would disappear in a flash? Immediately after, he would appear behind her, very close. Drunken Cat was shocked. This kind of speed, she was unable to react at all. She gritted her teeth and thrust her halberd forward with 10 times the speed. He moved his whole body forward and escaped from Yu Yang. Drunken Cat was in danger, but she still turned around to look. If it was a real enemy, she wouldn't have done this. She would have used all her strength to defend herself. However, she knew that Yu Yang wouldn't hurt her, so she turned around to see how he would attack her. Yu Yang used the gold-ranked dragon-slaying spear as a pole and pointed at the ground. He shot forward like a meteor. Before Drunken Cat could react, a flying kick landed on her round and perky buttocks. If this wasn't a competition, Drunken Cat understood that if this wasn't a competition, but a fight to the death, then she would have been heavily injured, or even dead. This brat could have pierced him with his spear and kicked him in the butt. It was just a warning. Even so, she still felt extremely humiliated. It was undeniable that this brat also had a wicked sense of humor in his warning. Of all places to kick, he just had to kick the buttocks. "I'll kill you, you big pervert." Drunken Cat borrowed the force of Yu Yang's kick and did a big turn in the air. The halberd in her hand shot towards Yu Yang like a poisonous dragon coming out of its hole. This attack carried with it the power of a dragon's roar. The air in the entire training hall became stagnant, as if a giant dragon was pouncing down from the sky. Too slow, Yu Yang calmly thrust his spear outwards. He didn't block, but borrowed the strength of the Drunken Cat Big Sis to move her body. It was the same technique he used to break the little dragon's probing just now. However, this time, the Drunken Cat Big Sis had used all her strength, and there was no possibility of stopping. Drunken Cat was quick-witted and quickly let go. The halberd flew with great force towards the opposite wall of the training hall with a roar. A thud sound was heard. The halberd that flew out of her hand was nailed deeply into the incomparably hard granite wall. Cracks spread out like a spider's web around the hole. In the air, Drunken Cat saw Yu Yang turn his spear and wanted to use the spear's tail to sweep her down. In a moment of desperation, she didn't care too much. She flew over and rushed into his embrace. Her hands tightly wrapped around his waist, preventing him from attacking. Then, she leaned back and prepared to use the arch bridge throw to smash this brat to the ground. The moment she exerted strength from her waist, Drunken Cat discovered that her waist was also being hugged by Yu Yang. One of his hands passed through her crotch and held onto her thigh. An irresistible force burst out, and he actually lifted her whole body up. "Quickly let me down," Drunken Cat shouted anxiously. She realized that if she fought him in close combat, she would be at a disadvantage. You must admit defeat before you can let go. Yu Yang shamelessly maintained this position, continuing to enjoy the wonderful feeling of their entangled bodies. When he put Drunken Cat down, her clothes were a little messy. Her chest was heaving up and down as she panted. Her face was flushed red from embarrassment, but also red from anger. Her eyes were like the tip of a spear that could kill, almost killing Yu Yang in an instant. She stared at him for a long time. Suddenly, she took a deep breath, tidied her clothes, and closed her eyes. "If you're willing to bet, you must be willing to lose. Come, I'm warning you. You're only allowed to touch me once. If you dare to touch me more than once, I'll chop it off." Actually, she knew that her chances of winning against him were not high. So why did she bet with him? Furthermore, it was this kind of bet. She couldn't understand it. Of course, she knew that if it wasn't this pervert, but some other guy, they wouldn't have made this kind of bet. She would rather die than let someone humiliate her like this. As for him, it wasn't that serious to let him humiliate her. This brat had been using his eyes to molest her for a long time, and she had already suffered loss. Letting him touch her would only make her suffer a little more. In the future, if there was a chance, she would definitely take her revenge. Drunken Cat pretended that she didn't care, but she was actually very nervous in her heart. Her heart was beating very fast. It was as if a deer was ramming into her. Letting him touch her once was fine, but when she won, she would chop off that paw of his. Although she comforted herself like this, she still felt embarrassed and unbearable. She felt a fiery, big hand reaching over, gently kneading her left breast, and then retracting it. Drunken Cat felt that it was too strange. So fast. Why didn't this big pervert take the opportunity to touch her a little longer? It was completely different from what she had imagined. When she opened her eyes, she realized that this brat was writing in his diary. Writing a diary? Snatching it over to take a look, Drunken Cat's eyes immediately widened in anger, and she exploded on the spot. Because it wrote. When I reached out to touch her, she closed her eyes and had a look of enjoyment on her face. Who had a look of enjoyment on his face? She couldn't wait to kill him, and he still had a look of enjoyment on his face? Drunken Cat was so angry that smoke came out of her 7 orifices. First, she tore the diary into pieces. Then she snatched the gold-ranked dragon-slaying spear from Yu Yang's hands. Like a shrew, she smashed and hit randomly, chasing after Yu Yang all the way, determined to kill him. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Waves of vibrations came from the training hall. City Mistress Fallen Flowers in the garden stopped watering the flowers and looked towards the distant training hall. She smiled meaningfully and continued to nurture her beloved flowers and plants. Yu, who was sitting in the puppet room, picked up the puppet parts that had fallen to the ground and placed them back on the table. She sighed slightly. The little panda girl Nyonyo, who was helping Fourth Mother wash the vegetables in the kitchen, tilted her head and asked cutely, "Are brother and mother fighting?" Fourth Mother smiled slightly and said gently, "They're not fighting, they're training." Yu Shuang, the little girl, hugged his snow-white pillow and walked out with sleepy eyes. "So noisy," Fourth Mother comforted her. "You'll be fine after a few days. Why don't Mother carry you? That way, even if the sky falls and the earth cracks, you'll still be able to sleep." Good, this little girl. It's not that you can't sleep. You just know how to act spoiled in front of Mother. See if I don't spank your little butt. Although she was scolded, she still dotingly carried Yu Shuang on her back. She could only angrily spank her precious daughters but a few times as a punishment. The little girl was not afraid at all. She hugged her mother's neck and giggled. Nyonyo looked at her enviously. That expression made Fourth Mother's heart ache for a while. She stretched out her hand and caressed Nyonyo's little face. "I'm tired. Fourth Mother will carry you to sleep too." "Thank you, Fourth Mother." Nyonyo is not tired. The little panda girl, Nyonyo, happily shook her head. Her round little face was filled with a sweet smile. Training hall. Yu Yang elegantly threw Drunken Cat over his shoulder, firmly throwing her onto the floor. He was so pleased with himself that he shouted, "The enemy is embarrassed. I'm going to take off her clothes." Drunken Cat was actually not injured. She did a somersault and angrily grabbed Yu Yang's collar. She stared into his eyes with her murderous eyes, nose to nose, mouth to mouth, and angrily scolded, "What did you say? I lost the bet, so I let you touch me. You brat, you still want to take off my clothes? If this goes on, wouldn't I have to force myself on you in another round?" Yu Yang secretly cursed in his heart. This domineering sister had misunderstood. He hurriedly explained, "Actually, this is a misunderstanding. This sentence is the language of a very vulgar race. It means that I have defeated you." Hearing this, Drunken Cat became even more furious. "I let you defeat me, so you have to take off my clothes? What enemy is embarrassed? Who's embarrassed? Didn't I concede defeat just now? Brat, don't push your luck. This is really a misunderstanding." Yu Yang tried his best to hold back his laughter, but it took a lot of effort. "Then even if I defeat you, I'm going to take off your clothes." Drunken Cat couldn't stand this brat's arrogance. "If you defeat me, you can say, 'The enemy is embarrassed. I'm going to take off my clothes to wash him.'" Yu Yang's words made Drunken Cat dumbfounded. If she defeated him, she still had to take off her clothes to wash him? This was too unfair. Is there nothing else? Drunken Cat felt that these two sentences were not suitable. She was the one at a disadvantage. Also, if you defeat me, you can also say, the enemy is embarrassed. I'm going to take off my clothes to press him. Yu Yang replied in a serious manner. Drunken Cat almost fainted. This last sentence was not even as good as the first two sentences. In the end, she might as well take off her clothes to press him. It was better to lose than to win. She might as well send herself into the big bad wolf's mouth like a little lamb. Drunken Cat felt as if the blood in her body was burning. She grabbed Yu Yang and roared angrily. I'm not going to take off my clothes. If I want to take off my clothes, I'll take off your clothes. Go and die, you pervert. I'm not done with you. You want to take off my clothes? I'll bite you to death. Rumble, rumble. A new round of fighting began. Chapter 499. That day, Drunken Cat made an exception and didn't drink. However, when she was eating, she glared at Yu Yang with a gaze that was even more hateful than the one that killed her father. City Mistress Fallen Flowers felt that she would explode at any moment, so she quickly sat beside her with Yu, not giving Drunken Cat a chance to flip the table. Everyone tactfully talked about the country and did not mention anything about her and Yu Yang practicing martial arts. This was to prevent her from getting angry and slamming the table. Actually, even if she didn't say anything, everyone knew that Drunken Cat was at a disadvantage. Not to mention that Yu Yang was extremely strong. He had also trained repeatedly. Innate level 1 was comparable to innate level 6. Even if he used the strength of a lesser innate, even if he didn't use his Nirvana Flame and World Exterminating Wheel, Drunken Cat wouldn't stand a chance. Even if she became innate level 2 after getting drunk, she would still be far from it. In other words, if she wanted to defeat the lesser innate Yu Yang, she would need to level up to innate level 4, or even innate level 5. This would still require Yu Yang to use his techniques without using his beasts. I'm full. Drunken Cat angrily ate a small bowl and glared at Yu Yang before leaving the table. She was already very angry. The reason why she was able to eat at the same table as Yu Yang was because of Fourth Mother. Suppressing her desire to drink, she returned to the training hall and continued to train. Although she was angry, she wasn't stubborn. She practiced all the techniques that Yu Yang had used against her during the day, as well as the various moves that he had used against her. She thought about it over and over again, and used Yu Yang's techniques as her own. As she practiced with the gold-ranked dragon-slaying spear, she gradually understood more and more. If she didn't try to practice, she would never know the secret behind Yu Yang's techniques. She also wouldn't know the difference between her and him. She didn't even know that the spear could be used like this, and that it could be used to counter the enemy's attacks. The more she practiced, the more shocked she became. Even though she knew that there was a huge gap between her and Yu Yang, she had never expected him to surpass her by so much in terms of battle skills. His forte was the gun. His forte should be the saber or the sword. Yu Yang didn't even need to use Hui Jin Magic Blade and Crescent Moon Blade to defeat her Fallen Flowers. If he really used them, then wouldn't she? Drunken Cat calmed herself down and thought carefully. She tried her best to imitate Yu Yang's moves, trying to understand his artistic conception at that time. Since he was stronger than him, it was appropriate to learn from him. It would be best if he could secretly learn more combat skills than him in the future and beat him to a pulp, angering him to death. While Drunken Cat was focused on secretly learning from him, Yu Yang began to create his own battle doll. He had already prepared most of the materials previously, and now he had the Dream Jadeite, Titan's Heart, and God's Blood. Sickly Beauty had almost finished researching the 3 runic circles of the gold coffin. She estimated that it would be completed in a few days. Yu, on the other hand, had sorted the blueprints of the battle doll weapons and the necessary materials to create them, waiting for Yu Yang to create them. I'll create the battle doll's Angel's Blade later. Are you really not going to upgrade your Angel's Blade? Yu Yang felt that Yu Yu's silver-ranked Angel's Blade was a little weak. Since he didn't know when the battle doll would be completed, he wanted to use the best materials to upgrade Yu Yu's Angel's Blade. No, this is already the best for me. Yu quickly waved her hands. She felt a little warm in her heart when she talked about the angel's blade created by Yu Yang. Actually, the materials are more than enough. Yu Yang still tried to persuade her. That's just the best estimate. I'm not the main fighter. I'll heal everyone from the back. The silver-ranked angel's blade is already enough. Moreover, it's better than many gold-ranked treasures. Yu didn't want Yu Yang to waste too many materials on her. Moreover, this silver-ranked angel's blade was also praised by everyone, and they were all envious of it. All right. Yu Yang gave up on persuading her and took out Yu Gong's second relic, the mysterious crystal pillar. This crystal pillar was 10 meters tall, 2 meters wide, and 1 meter thick. The base was slightly bigger, the middle was straight, and the top was slightly pointed. It was filled with energy, and countless heaven runes were engraved on both sides of the crystal pillar. Its entire body was emitting a faint white light. Indistinctly, there was a kind of rainbow-like flowing light. At its base, there was a gap, as if a sharp treasure had dug out a piece. This was the strangest thing about Yu Yang. Yu Gong's fighting strength was not high, and he wasn't strong. He didn't even have a divine weapon. How did he dig out this gap and use it as the core of the beast? Yu Yang tried before. He used the platinum-ranked Hui Jin magic blade to cut it, but couldn't do anything to this mysterious crystal pillar. The Hui Jin magic blade had always been able to cut through other metals like it was mud. It was extremely sharp, yet couldn't cut through the crystal pillar. Why don't I try the god-killing dagger? Yu had seen Yu Yang use the god-killing dagger to cut some materials, but she didn't know if the god-killing dagger could cut through the crystal pillar. Yu Yang realized that the holy-ranked god-killing dagger was indeed different. With the support of innate qi, a small piece of the crystal the size of a grain of rice was slowly shaved off. Without the holy-ranked god-killing dagger and innate qi, how did Yu Gong make such a big gap? Yu Yang really couldn't understand. Furthermore, just shaving it off wasn't enough. The core of every puppet was made into a bead or diamond shape. How did the ghost genius Yu Gong manage to do this? Without Nirvana's flame, how could Yu Gong melt the crystal into a bead or diamond shape? With suspicions in his heart, Yu Yang used a large amount of innate qi and Nirvana's flame for half an hour to melt the crystal shards into a small crystal bead. Yu Yang was so tired that he was unbearably tired. Seeing that Yu Yang was sweating profusely from exhaustion, Yu helped him wipe his sweat over and over again. She couldn't help him with manufacturing, so she could only take care of him in his daily life. Looking at Yu Yang's troubled and confused look, Yu wished that she knew all the answers in the world and told him all the secrets, so that his furrowed brows could relax. This was because Yu Yang didn't know how to make the crystal bead, and the real puppet grimoire didn't have any relevant records. Yu Yang could only use the stupidest method. That was to use violence. Raising his explosive power to innate level 3, he used the god-killing dagger and innate qi to shoot out a sharp sword, slowly cutting the base of the crystal pillar. Every cut line was slowly melted with Nirvana's flame, separating the base from the pillar. He then cut the base into pieces of crystal of different sizes. The smaller ones were a few kilograms, the bigger ones were tens of kilograms. In order to cut these, Yu Yang was exhausted. There must be a way, but unfortunately Yu Yang didn't know. Using violence would only result in half the effort. Fortunately, he had innate qi and Nirvana's flame. If not, he probably wouldn't be able to do anything to this crystal pillar. Let's rest for a while. You could only pass him water and wipe his sweat. She really wished that she could help Yu Yang more, but she couldn't do anything. What method is it exactly? How did the ghost genius Yu Gong chew a hole in the crystal pillar? Yu Yang kept asking himself. Yu really wanted to tell him, but she didn't know the answer either. I heard that Yu Gong's body was so weak that he didn't even have the strength to truss a chicken. Without any treasures, let alone cutting the crystal pillar, he wouldn't even be able to move a big piece of it. This isn't tofu. Yu Yang really admired Yu Gong. This guy was really a ghost genius. He really couldn't compare to him. Yu wiped Yu Yang's sweat and massaged his shoulders. Seeing his comfortable expression, she used more strength. She felt that she could only do these things for him. She was really useless. She was not smart enough, so she couldn't help him. If only Shui Wuxia or Princess Sisai were here, especially Shui Wuxia. She had always been the biggest inspiration to him. Maybe she would have a way. Yu Yang thought for a long time, but he couldn't think of Yu Gong's secret method. He could only continue to use violence. When Yu Yu retreated, she saw the materials on the ground. She quickly bent down to pick them up, but unexpectedly, her forehead bumped into the meteorite essence protruding from the table. She held her forehead in pain. She endured the pain and stood up. She didn't want Yu Yang to be distracted and affect his work. She felt that something was wrong with her hand. She stretched out her hand to take a look and realized that there was a little blood stain on her finger. The tender skin on her forehead was scratched. She prepared to secretly use the healing water to heal herself without letting Yu Yang know. Just as she summoned the water ball, an indescribable enlightenment flashed in her heart, causing her to scream. "Why are you injured?" Yu Yang raised his head and realized that Yu Yu's forehead was bleeding. "Don't worry about me. I'm fine." "Quickly try." Master Yu Gong's body is weak. His face is pale and bloodless. He might have lost blood for a long period of time. I mean, Master Yu Gong might have used fresh blood. Maybe his blood has some kind of effect. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel that blood might be useful. I don't know if this is correct either, but I just thought of it. Yu Yu was afraid that the enlightenment in her mind would disappear, so she quickly shouted it out. Although she wasn't sure if it was correct, the feeling in her heart was indeed correct. Blood. Yu Yang's body shook when he heard it. His eyes shone brightly. After Yu Yu pointed it out, he immediately understood. He hurriedly picked up a crystal shard and held it in his hand. He then used the god-killing dagger to cut his palm. But the crystal shard that was stained with fresh blood did not move at all. There was no reaction even after a long time. Yu Yu was disappointed, seeing that her brother trusted her without hesitation. But she had told him the wrong method. She felt extremely guilty. She rushed over and hugged his arm. With tears in her eyes, she wanted to help him heal the wound on his palm. A drop of tear fell on the crystal shard that was stained with fresh blood. Suddenly, a strange light shone. The crystal shard emitted a dazzling white light, and countless heaven runes flew out, floating in the air. Seeing this scene, Yu Yu was so excited that she almost suffocated. Success. Blood alone was not enough. There must be tears. Yu Yu really wanted to hug her brother and cry. She was finally of some use. Yu Yang injected his innate qi into the crystal shard. The runes immediately interweaved into a mysterious pattern and returned to him. The hard crystal shard melted into water like ice and slowly accumulated, forming a small jelly-like ball. Yu Yang used his thoughts to control it. He could easily turn it into a small crystal bead. He could also turn it into a diamond-shaped crystal caltrip. He could change it as he pleased. When Yu Yang stopped controlling it, the diamond-shaped crystal caltrip emitted a bright light again. It quickly hardened and returned to its crystal state. However, its shape had already changed to the diamond shape that Yu Yang wanted. Success. Success. Yu Yu hugged Yu Yang, crying and laughing at the same time. She was so excited that it was hard to describe. "Sister Yu, you are really my lucky star." Yu Yang also hugged Yu Yu excitedly. He couldn't contain his joy and threw her above his head, reaching out to catch her. "Hey, Xiao San, put me down." "Don't do this, someone will see." Yu Yu let him throw her a few times. She suddenly remembered that she was his second sister and hurriedly stopped him. At the moment when Yu Yang threw her up, she spread out her angel's blade and floated in the air. With a somersault, she landed 2 meters away, refusing to let him catch her again. No wonder the ghost genius Yu Gong, a weak and sickly scholar, could make such a hole. "Thank you, Sister Yu." "Hey, your injury is not healed yet." Yu Yang didn't seem to realize that their intimate actions just now were very ambiguous. He hurriedly used his innate qi to heal her. "It's nothing, it's just a scratch." Yu Yu wanted to reject him. However, seeing his attentive face, her heart softened and she let him heal her. She closed her eyes and felt his warm hand gently caressing her forehead. Her wound felt cool. It didn't hurt, but she felt happy. It was good to have a brother. Chapter 500. Just like that, during the day, Yu Yang became Drunken Cat's sparring partner and teased her while he was at it. At night, he concentrated on making battle dolls. With the ghost genius Yu Gong's puppet encyclopedia and the Black Hell King's 3 ancient battle dolls from 6,000 years ago as reference, Yu Yang progressed very quickly with all the necessary materials. He had already broken the 3 battle dolls from the Black Hell King's secret base many times and studied them repeatedly. The 3 battle dolls did not have a gender, but they were made to look like females. Maybe this could confuse people, because very few people would suspect that a beauty was a puppet. Yu Yang realized that the interior of the 3 battle dolls were similar, just like Kai Yi. As for the other 2 combat puppets, they were named Black Cloak and White Cloak respectively. Only their height and body shape were slightly different, but if one completely cut open the simulated human skin and muscles, the composition inside would be almost exactly the same. Compared to the ancient battle dolls in the Golden Coffin, these 3 battle dolls were only average. Yu Gong's transforming battle dolls, due to the limited conditions, were either low or average. Because of the passing of time, technology had disappeared. Battle dolls that were above average and high quality had all disappeared. The battle dolls that the ghost genius Yu Gong designed with life, consciousness, and emotions belonged to the highest quality, similar to the blueprint in the Golden Coffin. There were a few notes on the blueprint. Actually, there was a type of extremely high-quality battle dolls that appeared in the immemorial era. This type of battle dolls could freely change between human and battle dolls. It had all the characteristics of a human and battle dolls. Not only did it have life, consciousness, rationality, and emotions, it also had a soul. This type of extremely high-quality battle dolls only existed in legends and were equivalent to transcendental divine weapons. The battle dolls in the Golden Coffin and Yu Gong's idea were almost the same. Once it was successfully made, it would undoubtedly be a holy ranked battle dolls. It could even become a humanoid divine weapon. As for Kai Yi, Hei Yi, and Bai Yi, the 3 ancient battle dolls, they could probably be considered platinum ranked. If Yu Yang thought of a way to perfect them and added runes to them, they might even be able to reach the peak of platinum ranked. Of course, it was probably impossible for the 3 battle dolls to evolve into saint-grade battle dolls with life. Furthermore, if Yu Yang had that kind of ability, he might as well level up his Crescent Moon and Huiji Magic Blade to Holy Ranked. At the very least, he would be able to increase the power of his weapons. The Huiji Magic Blade still had a future. After all, it still had the Titan's blood. If it could successfully fuse with the Demon Dragon's crystal and molten flame core, in addition to the silver soul pearl from the golden box that sealed the demon statue, and the dark soul pearl from the white jade beetle that sealed the demon shadow, the 5 of them would be completely fused together. In addition to Yu Yang's runes, leveling it up to a holy ranked equipment shouldn't be a problem. However, Yu Yang's current ambition was to level it up to a divine ranked equipment. He was probably still lacking in materials. God's blood, God's water, God's meteorite molten gold, Titan's heart, crystal body, dream jadeite, and other peerless treasures had to be left behind to fulfill Yu Gong's 3rd wish. Hence, Yu Yang decided to temporarily stop upgrading his Huiji Magic Blade. Firstly, he did not have enough materials. Secondly, he had the god-killing dagger, which was enough for now. Thirdly, the Black Hell King had not arrived yet. It wouldn't be too late to upgrade the Huiji Magic Blade when he was ready to fight. I say, Xiao San, why don't you slow down? It's not good for your body to bleed so much all of a sudden. Yu Yu's heart ached for Yu Yang's crazy actions. I'm fine. Yu Yang used the god-killing dagger to cut open his palm and dripped a large amount of blood. His body's self-healing ability was extremely fast. His wounds healed at a speed that could be seen by the naked eye. Even if it was a big wound, it would stop bleeding after a while. Yu Yang had no choice but to cut open his blood vessels repeatedly to let his blood flow out to melt the crystal pillar. Yu Yu's heart ached so much that her tears fell like rain. She didn't even need to prepare her emotions. Her tears flowed down like rain. Yu Yang melted the crystal pillar into whatever form he wanted, and then fused it with the crystal man's body that he obtained from the Crystal Canyon. He used Nirvana's flame to refine the purest and best quality parts to create the body of the battle doll that was Yu Yang's third wish. Even if he used up all of his crystals, and even borrowed a large amount of crystals from the Tianluo Kingdom's treasury, Yu Yang could only refine the crystal essence that was about the size of a watermelon. It wasn't possible to make it into an adult, but it was still possible to make it into a child's body. He used the best and best quality parts to make the body. And the crystal essence, which was one grade lower, was used to make the crystal doll's second form. According to the ancient blueprint in the golden coffin, this battle doll had 3 forms. The first was the daily life form, the second was the training and learning form, and the third was the battle armor form. The third form was to add meteorite, adamantine, mithril, and other metals, allowing her to fuse into one and achieve the form of an armored battle angel. It was a pity that Yu Yang didn't know how to turn the crystal doll into a human body. Otherwise, he would definitely try to make a supreme divine equipment from the immemorial era, the battle angel. The god's blood had already been purified by Yu Yang using Nirvana's flame. Yu Yang even added his own blood into it, allowing the two to fuse and form a new kind of blood. Originally, this was impossible. The god's blood would never fuse with any other blood, even if it was another kind of god's blood. However, Yu Yang's bold attempt had inexplicably succeeded. A large drop of new god's blood was born. It would become the crystal doll's source of life. As for the crystal doll's blood, it was made from the blood of Yu, city mistress fallen flowers, and sickly beauty. Although their blood could not be mixed, after the fusion of the god's water and the new god's blood, Yu Yang succeeded once again. However, he realized that this was not enough. If he wanted the crystal doll to look like a human child, he would need more blood from women. Not only Yu Bing, Inan, and Drunken Cat. Even little Shuang Air and the little panda girl Nyonyo had taken a bit of their blood to make the new blood. Only fourth mother refused, refusing to let Yu Yang study her blood. This made Yu Yang very puzzled and felt that she was very mysterious. Yu Yang had already confirmed the name list. It was okay if the blood essence was not enough. There were still Impatience, Shui Wuxia, Princess Sisai, and the others. If it was really not enough, he could ask Sky Disaster, Night Empress, and Jizun. Maybe they would be willing to give him some blood. There was also Hornless Dragon Jiangying, Lu Yi, Xia, Yi, and the little elf girl who looked no different from human girls. Their blood was also a backup. As for his own beasts, needless to say, Lamia Lowly Little One Li, Bloody Queen Red, Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen Duo, and Barbarian Cow Shadow on Man were all added at the end. Of course, this addition was not the most urgent. The problem that Yu Yang was facing now was how to combine the divine molten meteorite gold and the Titan's heart together. The divine molten meteorite gold could be said to be a must. It would be a divine weapon that would grow and evolve together with the crystal doll. Moreover, it would be connected to all kinds of weapons and armors. Without it, it would be the same as eating fruits, and there would not be a third armor form. It would be impossible without the Titan's heart, because it would provide the most powerful energy. The Titan's heart was better than any dragon crystal, because Yu Yang had not seen any giant dragon that was heaven rank. The Titan's heart originated from the injured ancient Titan Wu Su, who was still heaven rank level 1. After being refined by Yu Yang's Nirvana heart, the essence of the ancient Titan's energy was preserved. Moreover, it was very small and suitable to be a strong heart that provided the battle angel's energy. Yu Yang had not thought of the best way to combine the two. However, according to the introduction of the blueprint, he knew that the Titan's heart could be placed in the second form, and the divine molten meteorite gold could be connected from the first form to the second and third form. How could he achieve the perfect combination? How could he guarantee a 100% success rate? Yu Yang was still thinking, actually there's a way, and that is to use the dream jadeite. City Mistress Fallen Flowers gave an idea to Yu Yang. It's too risky. I think this brat's dreams are all erotic dreams. He will definitely fail. Drunken Cat firmly opposed. She was not optimistic at all. Dream jadeite. The dream jadeite and the wishing Dutchman's pipe are known as the two wish treasures of the Tong Tian Tower. It has a very magical power. It can fulfill the wishes of the owner in their dreams. No matter how big or small the wish is, it will be fulfilled strictly according to the owner's dream, and it can reflect the owner's truest dreams. All wishes are limited to the manifestation of the laws. When it exceeds the laws and cannot be materialized, the dream jadeite will shatter and disappear forever. Yu Yang knew the effects of this treasure a few days ago, but he did not dare to use it. It could be said that this was the best treasure in the world. It could also be said that this was the worst treasure in the world. Everything depended on the person who used it. If it was a madman who wanted to conquer the world or become a god, it would definitely shatter and turn into nothingness. If an honest commoner used it and wanted to turn a stone into gold, this wish would probably be fulfilled 99% of the time. In the ancient era of Tong Tian Tower, there was a type of warrior who could use summoned beasts to control dreams. They were called the Dream Controlling Summoner. They specialized in helping people realize their dreams, but this profession had already disappeared 8,000 years ago. If Drunken Cat did not go to the Tianluo Emperor Hua Su Ri's imperial study to borrow an ancient book, Yu Yang would not have known about this profession. What was in Yu Yang's dream? Were they all erotic dreams? Of course not. The reason why Yu Yang did not dare to use it was because he dreamed of entering the heavenly sword goddess space to train. If this dream was faithfully reflected and Luo Hua city mistress, Yu and the others found out about his secret, then he would be done for. That was why he did not dare to look at the dream jadeite all this while. He was afraid that this thing would be too mystical and reveal his secret. It's a pity that Fourth Mother does not know what you really want, otherwise I could help you try. Fourth Mother sighed regretfully. What? Yu Yang was secretly shocked. Could it be that Fourth Mother's profession was the dream controlling summoner that had been lost for 8,000 years? If she was not good at it, she would definitely not say it like this. If she was good at controlling dreams, even if she was not a dream-controlling summoner, she would still be a special person. Normal people could not control their own dreams, but with Fourth Mother's strength, she could control dreams. This could not help but be suspicious. Of course, Yu Yang did not dare to say it directly. He would observe it slowly in the future. Try it yourself. Saner, with your willpower, you should be able to control dreams. Fourth Mother opened her mouth to speak, as if she wanted to teach Yu Yang something, but in the end, she did not say it. She waved her hand and left with Shuang air in Nyonyo, as if she had not said anything, and returned to her original appearance of an ordinary mother. Yu Yang really wanted to learn from her, but this could not be forced. Anyway, it was good to try it. If he broke this piece, he could just spend a lot of money to buy another piece from the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. Yu also supported Yu Yang. Xiao San, try it. I think you will definitely succeed. Chapter 501. Although everyone supported him, Yu Yang decided to postpone it for a while. He was prepared to collect the blood of Lu Yi, Xia, Yi, and the little elf girl to refine more blood essence and make more preparations. It was a pity that Shui Wuxia, Princess Sisai, Impatience, Night Empress, and Jizun were not here, otherwise the results would be better. Yu Yang returned to the Yu clan castle and found Lu Yi. When he was collecting Lu Ye's blood, Bao Er came over and asked, "Do you want my blood?" This. Yu Yang did not know if the golden elf's blood could fuse with humans, but in order not to disregard the golden elf Loli's good intentions, he nodded. "I'm afraid of pain. Just a little bit will do." Bao Er was usually afraid of pain, but when she saw Lu Yi agreeing to Yu Yang's request without hesitation, she stood up for the first time in her life and expressed her support for his research. As for the Oxhead fan Luan Tai, she saw that Yu Yang was a little hesitant to collect Bao Er's blood. She knew that this brat only wanted the blood of human beauties, and her own blood would probably not be of use. She snorted and moved away from him. After eating the titan meat, the Oxhead fan Luan Tai's body had already soared to 4 meters. Her strength had at least doubled. Her level had also risen from level 7 intermediate, Overlord, to level 8 beginner, Emperor. If she drank the titan blood refined by Yu Yang later on, she would probably be able to level up. Actually, it was not only her. Even the Oxheadly AO and the four orc girls had also improved rapidly. The Titan meat had an extremely good effect on the Oxhead and orc races, but for humans, the effect was not great. Yi Kong, Fatty High, and the others joked that the Oxhead and orc's digestive power was comparable to beasts. It was indeed like that. Yu Yang had never thought that the Oxmen and orcs would level up so quickly after eating the Titan meat. Yi Kong, Fatty High, and the Lee brothers were fine. They dared to eat the Titan meat. In order to improve their strength, they went all out. On the other hand, Xue Tanlang and Prince of Tian Luo were extremely against it. They would rather lose a chance to evolve than eat the Titan's meat. Of course, if it was Yi Yang, he wouldn't eat it either. Even if the ancient Titan was huge, it was still a humanoid creature. The feeling of eating a Titan's meat was a little weird. It was fine if Xue Tanlang and Prince of Tian Luo didn't eat it, as no one forced them to eat it. However, Yin Pejun and Feng Qi Sha were in trouble. They didn't want to eat it, so the elders of the clan forced them to eat it. In the end, they almost vomited. Fortunately, they managed to absorb some energy, or else they would have cried to death. Lin En, Anna, and Bao Er would definitely not eat it. The Golden Elves rarely ate meat. Their staple food was fruits and vegetables. After keeping the two girls' blood, Yu Yang headed towards the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, back to the Thunder Fortress. What made him feel strange was that there seemed to be an intense battle in the Thunder Fortress. Could it be that the Sea Clan had attacked? Since the Sea Clan was attacking, why didn't the Fat Toad inform him? With doubts in his heart, Yu Yang stepped into the door. "Young master, you're finally back. You don't know how exciting the battle was. It was simply earth-shattering. The sun and the moon lost their light." The Fat Toad eagerly welcomed Yu Yang and reported the good news to him before he even entered the door. It can be summarized in one sentence. The few worshippers repelled the Sea Clan's rude provocation. Butler Yin Zheng's words had always been concise. The Fat Toad complained loudly, indicating that what he said was not convincing at all. He added to the story with a great deal of embellishment, until his spittle was flying in all directions. Finally, Yu Yang understood the ins and outs of the story. It turned out that the Sea Clan had already found out that Little Titan had a small residence in the Thunder Fortress. They originally wanted the owner of the Thunder Fortress, King Chong En, to expel Little Titan's subordinates, but they were rejected by King Chong En. The Sea Clan's Empress Jellyfish sent a special envoy to order the Little Titan Merchant Group's employees, slaves, and any subordinates related to Little Titan to surrender immediately. She also confiscated all of Little Titan's properties in the Thunder Fortress. Forget about the hybrid fishmen supporting them. Even if they didn't, the Fat Toad Giada and the rest would still not surrender. Hence, under the situation where there was no official war, the two sides decided to use a battle between experts to determine the winner. This was also the 3 versus 3 battle of Tong Tian Tower. With King Chong En as the witness, Little Titan's subordinates, Blood River, Mountain Elf, Ma Long, Mr. Chun, and other innates secretly assisted them, fought against Empress Jellyfish's Special Envoy Group. Originally, everyone thought that the Special Envoy Group, which was full of experts, would definitely win against Little Titan's subordinates. However, when Octopus Man Boss Pantan, Swordfish Man Blast, Whale Zhang, and Cancer Man AO appeared, the opposing experts were all dumbfounded. Forget about Octopus Man Boss, Swordfish Man Blast, and Whale Zhang, who were level 8 innates. Even the weakest Mudskipper Mansui Zue would be able to defeat them. Although they had become hybrid fishmen, they were still supreme innates from thousands of years ago. King Chong En was shocked. He quickly mediated, but the Special Envoy Group had to admit defeat and pay a large amount of money to redeem themselves. The Sea Clan suffered heavy losses. Unless they used all their strength, they would not be able to take down the Thunder Fortress, which was guarded by a few hybrid fishmen. However, the Sea Clan was facing division and independence. Empress Jellyfish urgently needed innate rancors to subdue her people, so it was impossible to fight against the hybrid fishmen. On the second day, she sent someone to deliver a non-interference agreement. She even postponed the plan of sending Sea Clan soldiers to the soaring dragon continent to take revenge. I see. With regards to this result, Yu Yang had already expected it. Even if there were no hybrid fishmen guarding this place, they would not let the Sea Clan occupy it. King Chong and I, Blood River, Mountain Elf, and Mr. Chun would definitely not allow them to do so. This scene was just a show put up by King Chong and I and the other old foxes for Empress Jellyfish to see. Moreover, even if the Sea Clan occupied the Thunder Fortress, it would be a piece of cake for Yu Yang to take it back. Could it be that the Sea Clan could carry the Thunder Fortress back to the 9th floor of Tong Tian Tower? Xia Yi, who was wearing a police uniform, suddenly said, "I also fought. Although I didn't win, I didn't lose either." Fat Toad nodded his head hurriedly and flattered her. Yes, Miss Xia Yi fought against a lesser innate. If it wasn't for that fellow who escaped from the arena, he would have become a salted fish. Miss Xia Yi is undoubtedly the main contributor in this battle. Yin Zheng the butler reminded. There are still a few guests waiting at King Chong-ni's place. Do you want to arrange a time? Yu Yang felt that it would be better to wait for a while, so he waved his hands. In front of the lakeside house, a few hybrid fishmen were still eating and drinking. Yu Yang walked over and threw a few pieces of Titan's meat to them. Octopus Man Boss smelled it, and his face changed. Swordfish Man Blast looked at Yu Yang and exclaimed, "What meat is this? An Elder Innate Realm creature? You can kill an Elder Innate Realm creature now?" Mudskipper Man Sui Zue was so scared that he almost fainted. He kept shouting that he couldn't believe it, and that this was an illusion. He bit down fiercely. "Gotcha!" Mudskipper Man's face immediately turned bitter. This was because his sharp teeth were not able to bite through the Titan's meat in his hand. Instead, one of his teeth was broken. He took out the bloody broken tooth from his mouth and gasped in pain. "What the hell is this meat? Even my teeth can't bite through it. Look, I broke one of my teeth. It's fine now. If the original owner of this meat was still alive, you wouldn't be able to cut through it even with a platinum rank sword." Yu Yang's words scared Mudskipper Man Sui Zue so much that he shivered and wanted to pee. "Good fella, we really haven't eaten the meat of an Elder Innate Realm creature. This time we have to taste it." Whale Zhang nodded heavily and clapped his hands. "Hurry up and tell us the answer. What is it? My chest is about to explode from curiosity." Crabman AO wanted to know what the meat Yu Yang gave him the most. Ancient Titan. Yu Yang's words made the few hybrid fishmen petrified. They didn't know how long Yu Yang had left, but they finally recovered from the shock. The Octopus Man Boss wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. This brat's growth is too scary. He had just killed the Ocean Emperor a few days ago, and now he can already kill the Ancient Titan. This kind of growth speed, I really can't imagine. Mudskipper Man laughed dryly. "What are you afraid of? We are not his enemy. This kid has a bright future. We might as well follow him in the future." Swordfish Man Blast snorted. "Nonsense." Returning to the main residence of the lakeside house, the half-elf girl came out to welcome him happily. She had made some mistakes last time, but this time she did a good job. After knowing that Yu Yang had returned, she had prepared everything. The table was filled with food. She had prepared hot water and the most comfortable massage technique. Other than the gentle service, there was also a wonderful song and dance performance. The half-elf girl had specially practiced a beautiful dance and performed it for Yu Yang like a child presenting a treasure. She even pulled Xia Yi over to give him a fashion show. The few uniforms that Yu Yang had designed previously were all completed by the half-elf girl. There were policewomen, sergeants, air stewardesses, nurses, office ladies, queens, princesses, students, maids, and many other uniforms. Seeing this, Yu Yang almost howled like a wolf and almost pushed the two girls down on the spot. "Does it look good? I still have a lot of things to do. If I have a little more time, it might be even better." The half-elf girl, wearing a maid outfit and cat ears on her head, was so cute that she could instantly kill any otaku. "Pervert, this kind of clothes can't be worn to meet people at all." Xia Yi was wearing a military cap, leather jacket, shorts, fishnet stockings, and high heels. She was a delinquent girl's outfit. She was extremely hot, wild and captivating. The only flaw was that her breasts were not big enough. Otherwise, this outfit would definitely make Yu Yang have a nosebleed. In front of others, Xia Yi would definitely not wear this outfit, let alone wear a silver cross around her neck and add rivets to her collar. Of course, Yu Yang could not be 100% satisfied. He must be strict with girls who had the potential to be taught. He pointed at Xia Yi and criticized, "You can't wear underwear under fishnet stockings." Xia Yi immediately objected. "Then won't you see everything? This leather jacket is full of holes. It can't cover it all. And this damn pants, it's so short that it's exposing my butt." "Nonsense. The pants should be cut shorter, or else it won't match the golden ratio and won't be able to show off her curves. This outfit is meant to be wild. How can it be worn like a quail? The clothes should also be shorter, exposing your navel. It's best if it reaches your chest, but the sleeves must be long." After Yu Yang reprimanded her, Xia Yi was very angry. She had let a pervert like you see it, and you still think it's not good? You know that my breasts are not big, but you still want to wear this kind of damned clothes. As for that big-breasted half-elf girl slave, she wrapped herself tightly and insisted on using her big breasts to burst the clothes. What kind of perverted mentality is this? I understand. I will definitely improve it to be more perfect. The half-elf girl was the most obedient, always obeying any of his requests unconditionally. "Young master, there are 3 guests outside. They don't belong to any family, but they specifically want to see you." The maid came in to report. Yu Yang was slightly stunned. If the maid came in to report, it meant that Fat Toad and Yin Zheng the butler couldn't stop the other party. They didn't even know the other party's name. So who could it be? Xia Yi quietly stopped the maid and asked if it was a man or a woman. Once she heard that it was a woman, she immediately followed Yu Yang. But the half-elf girl didn't care about this at all. She happily hummed a little tune and changed the clothes that Yu Yang had pointed out, as if it was the most important thing in the world. Yu Yang stepped out of the guest hall and immediately sweated. "It's you guys." Chapter 502. The people who came were Shark King, Haiying Wu, and Big-Headed Fish King. Shark King was tall, had a unique appearance, and was extremely powerful. No matter how he disguised himself, it would not be effective. He did not disguise himself, and came as usual. Big-Headed Fish King also did not disguise himself. He still had a funny look with a big head and a small body. Haiying Wu, on the other hand, made herself look very mysterious. She wore a thick cloak and imitated Yu Yang by wearing a mask. However, her mask was a silver-ranked coral mask. It only covered half of her face, leaving the area below the lips empty. She did not wear the Ocean Emperor's armor today, nor did she hold the Ocean Emperor's halberd. Instead, she held a white whale staff like many Sea Clan elders. However, no matter how she disguised herself, Yu Yang could see through her at a glance. When Yu Yang came out, everyone retreated. Only Xia Yi was still hiding in the corner and peeping. She did not want to eavesdrop on the secret, but to peep at Haiying Wu. At the same time, Haiying Wu's eyes hidden behind the coral mask were also looking at Xia Yi, who was wearing a biker gang delinquent girl outfit. Both sides were silent as they sized each other up. Shark King was not a person who liked to talk nonsense. He went straight to the point and said, "Our intention is very simple. We want to cooperate." Did I hear wrongly? Yu Yang laughed. The chess piece that was laid out earlier had taken effect. Moreover, it was earlier than he expected. He thought he would have to wait for a while, but it was much earlier than he expected. Let's talk about the basis of cooperation. Both of us have a common enemy, which is the Sea Clan. You did not hear wrongly. The Sea Clan will definitely send troops to the soaring dragon continent. Empress Jellyfish must use revenge as an excuse to continue controlling the clan. Because the clan has no leader, it is in chaos. If there is no war, it will quickly fall apart. Also, other than the Ocean Emperor, the most powerful 9-headed sea goblin king is preparing to seize power. He is Empress Jellyfish's lover and is a level 9 and 8. Although he is not bad, he does not have enough prestige. He must use the expedition to the soaring dragon continent to increase his prestige and achieve his goal of becoming the Ocean Emperor. Shark King said honestly. Aren't you leading the Sea Clan army? Yu Yang asked. On the surface, this expedition to the soaring dragon continent is led by me, but it's actually just a diversion. Empress Jellyfish transferred me away from the Tong Tian Tower 7th floor so that it would be more convenient. Because of the death of the Sea Dragon Crown Prince, she hates me to the bone. It is impossible for her to let me hold power again. Shark King laughed bitterly. What do you think? Yu Yang asked again. I don't care about anything else. As long as I can fulfill my father's last wish and help my sister regain the throne of the Sea Empress. Sea King also hated the clan too. Clan. The tragedy of the Ocean Emperor was indirectly caused by Empress Jellyfish and the rest. Especially the scandal of the Sea Dragon Crown Prince being a fake Crown Prince. Shark King was even more furious. The death of the Ocean Emperor Wanlan was due to the grudges of the previous generation. He could not do anything about it, but his father had passed on his power and bloodline to his sister before he died. Hence, what he wanted to do the most was to kill Empress Jellyfish and Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King, so that his sister could inherit his father's legacy and become the true female Ocean Emperor that controlled the seas. Yu Yang muttered to himself for a while, then nodded his head in the end. We can cooperate, but what do you have to cooperate with me? Information. Yu Yang smiled. We can work together, but what do you have to work with me? Yu Yang laughed. Then tell me about it. Shark King reached into his bosom and took out a special rune scroll, passing it to Yu Yang. This is something similar to the Bloodflower map. It's called the Three-Colored Map. There are a total of 3 of them. Yours is gold, mine is black, and the one in my sister's hand is silver. When you write on the map, cross only, the writing will appear on my scroll map. When I write on the map, the writing will appear on my sister's scroll. Likewise, when she writes, you will see it. The 3-color map has this kind of transmission. With it, you can ask me anything you want, and my sister will tell you what I say. Of course, it is limited to once a day. Yu Yang nodded. This 3-color map was good stuff. With it, Shark King, who was in the enemy's camp, would be the best spy. He would be able to release the latest information at any time. The only flaw was that the words transmitted were too little. There were only 10 words. Also, it was limited to once a day. It's fine if you don't tell me about the Sea Clan. Other than Nine-Headed Sea Goblin King, I believe that the other old fellows are not your match. Shark King looked at Yu Yang and said solemnly, what I want to tell you now is the information about the other 2 clans. Winged Clan and Underworld Clan. Yu Yang frowned when he heard it. That's right. Shark King nodded. The Winged Clan has always lived in the 9th floor of Tong Tian Tower. Their highest leader is the Sky Emperor. The Winged Clan is similar to humans. They have wings on their back. They are handsome and androgynous. It is said that every 500 years, a batch will be born in the birth pool. Their average lifespan is 2,000 years. Their average strength is very strong. They're the strongest in the 9th floor of Tong Tian Tower. They occupy the biggest sky island. It is said that they are the descendants of the Winged Clan of Heaven Realm, and the Sky Emperor is the most talented one in the clan for thousands of years. He was born with a holy body. After contracting a grimoire, he also has a radiant angel as his guardian beast. Yu Yang listened quietly and thought to himself, the descendants of the Winged Clan call themselves angels. Actually, they are different from the angels in Heaven Realm. It is said that angels originally had genders, but for some reason, the Winged Clan lost their male and female characteristics and became androgynous. The Winged Clan used to be a very strong clan in Tong Tian Tower. They had assisted the 3 great leaders of Heaven Realm in conquering the soaring dragon continent. But after the previous generation's Sky Emperor was killed by the invincible Prison Emperor, the clan was almost exterminated. The entire clan fell for 5,000 years. They only recovered after 1,000 years and rose again under the leadership of the current generation's Sky Emperor Ba Yi. Shark King paused for a while. The Sky Emperor Ba Yi's strength should surpass my father's. He already possesses more than 3 holy ranked equipments. He has already formed an alliance with the Black Hell King and Empress Jellyfish and decided to attack Tong Tian Tower. What about the Emperor of the Underworld? Yu Yang also guessed that the Sky Emperor would not be willing to be left out. He was not surprised by Ba Yi's actions. Hai Yingwu thought that Yu Yang would be surprised. She did not think that he would be so calm. Xia Yi felt that Yu Yang was just putting up a front. Since the Black Hell Army and the Sea Clan had joined forces to invade the soaring dragon continent, he did not care about the addition of the Winged Clan. Shark King paused for a while. The Emperor of the Underworld is a very mysterious rancor. He is in the 9th floor of Tong Tian Tower and rules an outer realm that is even bigger than the Demon Abyss. He might be the strongest between the Ocean Emperor and the Sky Emperor. He is almost as strong as the Dragon Emperor. However, they have not fought each other, so we cannot know the truth. Currently, he does not have any plans to send any troops to the soaring dragon continent. However, in response to the Black Hell King's invitation, he said that he would go to the soaring dragon continent to watch the battle and meet you. Yu Yang laughed. Good, this guy's zodiac is like a monkey. He is too smart. He did not offend either side, did not lose a single soldier, and could reap benefits from middle. You can't help but admire him. Hai Yingwu finally could not take it anymore. She did not understand why Yu Yang was so optimistic and warned. There are many people like the Emperor of the Underworld. For example, the Great Emperor of Ziwei Shun Tian, the Black Prince, the Thousand Goblin sect leader, and a large group of innate rankers. You would not be able to defeat them even if you grew 3 heads and 6 arms. Do you know why they joined forces? It is because they are afraid that you will become the new prison emperor. That is why they want to kill you at all costs. As for the treasures in the gods' ruins, they will first get rid of you, their biggest competitor, and then slowly divide them. Xia Yi's face turned pale when she heard this. Any one of them was a supreme innate that could shake the entire Tong Tian Tower. If they joined forces to kill the big pervert, Little Titan, wouldn't he be dead for sure? Although Xia Yi was usually very angry with Yu Yang and felt that he was an eyesore, she would quarrel with him whenever she saw him. Otherwise, she would not be able to get rid of her anger. But now that she heard that he was facing the biggest crisis, she could not help but feel anxious for him. She really hated herself for not having the strength. Otherwise, she could help him. Even if it was just to help him kill a strong enemy. Why was she always a weakling? He said that she could become stronger. Why should she reject him? Xia Yi stomped her feet heavily, leaving a footprint on the hard ground, and quickly left. She clenched her fists as if she had made a decision. Shun Tian and the Black Prince are just fence-sitters. They are not the biggest threat. Shark King shook his head. The enemies that we should be more wary of should be the Dragon Emperor of the Eastern Goblin tribe and the few Demon Kings of the Demon Abyss. One is the strongest tribe in Tong Tian Tower. The other is the most numerous and bloodthirsty tribe in Tong Tian Tower. Their strength should not be underestimated. But I do not have any interactions with these 2 tribes, so I do not know their information. Maybe you can try it yourself. The Dragon Emperor of the Eastern Goblin tribe has a good impression of you. Maybe you can fight for it. As for the few Demon Kings, they are the most troublesome. Even the Black Hell Army and the Sea Clan are very afraid of the Demon Army. The Demon Abyss and the Soaring Dragon Continent are both on the 1st floor of Tong Tian Tower. The price of sacrifice is not very high. The Demon Army can enter the Ancient Passage and reach the Soaring Dragon Continent easily. As for the Sea Clan, the Winged Clan, and the Black Hell Army, each of their soldiers have to pay 10 times the price to be teleported into the Ancient Passage. Once they fail, their vitality will be greatly damaged. Well said. I am least afraid of numbers. Let them come in large numbers. This way they will be more heavily injured. Yu Yang laughed. Shark King, you are indeed the most outstanding son of the Ocean Emperor. With such an ally, why should I give up what is close at hand and seek what is far away? All right, from today onwards, we are allies. I am willing to swear a blood oath. No matter the outcome of this battle, I will never betray you. I am willing to die, even if I have to die. Shark King cut his arm with his dagger, blood dripping down. Same oath. Yu Yang took out his dragon-slaying dagger and cut a wound on his palm. Yu Yang looked at Shark King very seriously, then looked at Hai Yingwu. He raised his blood-stained right hand. No matter the outcome of this battle, as long as I, Yu Yang, am still breathing, I will never betray my ally. If we win, I agree to give the spoils of war to the Ocean Emperor's son, Shark King, and daughter, Hyene Wu, so that they can have the vast ocean. I will help the Ocean Emperor's daughter, Hyene Wu, to regain the position of the Ocean Emperor. I will never go back on my word. A teardrop quietly fell from Hyene Wu's coral mask. She walked forward and pulled the dragon-slaying dagger from Yu Yang's hand. She also used it to cut his palm. Then she knelt down, raised her bloody hand, and swore firmly. Hyene Wu swears, if the man in front of me can fulfill my father's and brother's wish and regain the position of the Ocean Emperor, Hyene Wu will worship the man in front of me as the new prison emperor of Tong Tian Tower. From then on, I will lead my clan to be forever loyal, never betray you, and protect you from generation to generation. If I go back on my word, the descendants of the Ocean Emperor clan will be cursed forever, never to be redeemed. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.